in the quiet at night, with my heart laid bare, something stirring inside, like a silent prayer. You gave me this flame, a purpose divine. Lord, help me remain in your design. Keep my lamp burning, oh, keep my lamp burning right, keep my lamp burning, oh, till I see your light. Every moment I breathe, every step that I take, all the truth I believe, all the choices I make, you fill me with grace, a vessel refined. Now I seek your face, lead down behind, keep my lamp burning, oh, keep my lamp burning.
Morning, everybody. Good to see you. Glad you could make it. It's going to be an awesome morning stream. I'm glad you all can all make it. Please hit the likes, share the show. It really, really does help the show to grow. Yeah, Andrew actually asked me for this specific topic. I don't know if he's going to make it, though. We'll see. I think I'll only go for an hour or an hour and a half like yesterday because I am busy working on that other video. So, yeah, but it's good to see you all, guys. Thank you for coming. Is the Bible factual and true? So far, yes, 86%, no, 0%, and not sure 14%. So that is quite an interesting poll. But it's good to see you guys. Roger Ledwell in the house. Jonah Edwards, what's up? Jermaine, hey, hey. Lesonic just received a membership from Roger Ledwell. Thank you very much for gifting the membership. Appreciate that so much. You are really, really awesome and a big blessing to the channel. Thank you very much. And then PJ, what's up, man? Glad you could make it. You guys rock. Okay, so I did get something just in case he wasn't able to show, because, I mean, it's going to be boring if I just sit here and just speak and have nothing to present. So I found 9 discoveries that confirm the Bible. So it's proof for God. Obviously, you can get this everywhere because there is a lot of archaeological discoveries through history that show the Bible to be true. There's a lot of manuscripts. There's a lot of outside sources. And scripture alone even does describe the Bible as being true because of the prophecies, and those prophecies that have been fulfilled through history and are busy being fulfilled right now. So, yes, if I had to say, can the Bible be trusted? Is it factual and true? Yes. The Bible is undoubtedly, the Bible is undoubtedly the most accurate, trusted source of history that you can find. Okay, so yeah, let's see.
The Bible is the most historically accurate book ever penned.
There we go.
Hundreds of ancient discoveries verify its accuracy, and here's a list of 9 of those. Number 1, the Pilate inscription. In 1961, in an Italian-sponsored dig in Caesarea, archaeologists uncovered a stone that had a Latin inscription on it that said Pontius Pilatus, prefect of Judea. That Pilate is mentioned in the gospel accounts on several occasions. You read in John 19:29, Pilate then went out to them and said, "What accusation do you bring against this man?" The find verifying the New Testament statement that Pilate was the prefect of Judea.
Yeah. The Bible literally does talk about Pontius Pilate. where he washes his hands of the blood of Jesus, saying the blood is on their hands because they wanted him to be crucified. He even gave them a choice to choose against Barabbas or Jesus, because Barabbas he knew was a convicted bad man, you can say. He was known for many bad things, and well, you wouldn't want him on the street. Yet the people chose Barabbas on the street rather than Jesus. That tells you something. But yeah, this is just archaeological evidence that proves without a doubt what the Bible says is true. And it shows that the evidence for what the Bible is saying is true based on historic events, and archaeological discovery actually just, how can we say, affirms that. So that's one.
Discovery number 2, Hezekiah's tunnel. In 2 Chronicles 32:30, we read a statement that says, "This same Hezekiah also stopped the water outlet of Upper Gihon and brought the water by tunnel to the west side of the city of David." You would think that if a king had dug a tunnel under Jerusalem, we would be able to find it, and that's exactly what we find. A huge tunnel that matches perfectly the biblical description of Hezekiah's tunnel.
Exactly. And this is just one of those extra discoveries that the Satan Sword Seasoners will not accept, because this shows exactly Jerusalem is where it is, even though they claim Jerusalem's not where it is. So I don't know how. I'm sorry, after last night's discussion with the Satan Sword Seasoners, it boggles my mind. I mean, I knew they were deceived, but that's beyond comparison when you actually look at what is being discussed and what they're actually presenting as their evidence. So yes, Hezekiah's tunnel is one of the main archaeological discoveries that prove that Satan's short season has not happened yet.
Discovery number 3, the Taylor Prism. In 1830, a man by the name of Robert Taylor uncovered a 15-inch tall clay cylinder. There are 500 lines of written text on this clay cylinder, and it was put there by a man named...
Hey, Veronica, good to see you. Glad you could make it. It's good to see everybody in the house. In case you guys missed the chat last night, do go on and... wow, what a stream. I was busy working on my video again now this morning before the stream started. Like, oh man, I got to stop working on that video now just because the stream's already set. I really do hope I get that stream sorted, because I got a feeling I might be driving through tonight. So, well, yeah.
Sennacherib. Well, Sennacherib was a king of Assyria that you read about in the Bible. On the clay cylinder, here's what Sennacherib said. As to Hezekiah the Jew, he didn't submit to my yoke. I laid siege to 46 of his strong cities, walled forts, and to the countless small villages in their vicinity, and conquered them by means of well-stamped earth ramps and battering rams.
Hey, Scott Level, good to see you, man. Have you seen the new nose? I've seen they've been talking about it. I haven't checked it of late. I think once you're done with going through these flicks, we can actually try to look it up. Because yes, there has been apparently new discoveries based on the Noah's Ark things, and I've also seen people talk. There's been a lot of new evidences supporting the Shroud of Turin as well, and also the Ark of the Covenant apparently. So there's some interesting things going on, and I did hear somewhere where they found Jesus' brother's body or esophagus or something. I'm not sure, but. We'll see where that comes in.
It's interesting when you compare Sennacherib's statement of what he did with the biblical statement of what he did. In 2 Chronicles 32:1, we read, Sennacherib, king of Assyria, came and entered Judah. He encamped against the fortified cities, exactly like Sennacherib says he did. Discovery number 4, the David inscription. For many years,
that's something I want to bring up as well. How is it that like the Satan short seasoners can claim Jerusalem is not where it is, yet all these discoveries, like it's showing on here, is based in Jerusalem where they say Jerusalem's not. So did all the archaeological evidence just teleport from wherever they want it to be to there? I mean, they don't even know where they want to place Jerusalem, first of all. Some people want to place it in America. Some people want to place it in the North Pole. How do they construct in their mind a logical argument that what's discovered in actual Jerusalem, where it is actually in Asia, is not where they claim it to be? How do they not see these things? It's really, it's bad. Yeah, LiDAR is what was used. That's what they say. Yeah, LiDAR is penetrating the radar so they can see underneath. So we will be looking at that. It should be interesting, because if they did use LiDAR to show that the structures of Noah's Ark, well, that's just more evidence that the Noah's flood did happen, even with all the other archaeological evidence with sediments and showing fossilized animals and stuff due to rock slides and mudslides and everything, with great cataclysmic pressures, because there is a lot of evidence outside Noah's Ark that there was a global flood anyway. But if they do have they used some radar, penetrating radar, which LiDAR, whatever, then yeah, it's like LiDAR, you say. Ground penetrating radar. Yeah, it's PNS waves, is it not? So they use different type of wavelengths to go through different parts of the ground, and that's different parts of materials, and that's what gives them a mapping of what's underneath. It's the same as what now they just all of a sudden did under the pyramids, that they claim there's all these major structures under the pyramids. My question is, why didn't they do this a lot sooner? I mean, this technology has been around for a long time, actually. So they were able to do this under the pyramids as well. But I don't buy the pyramid story, to be honest, because I do see it as an agenda. I see it as a Agenda 2030 alien discovery kind of thing, where they want to condition people to believe aliens built civilization, and they want to believe the aliens were here. So when they release the demons, they're just going to say they're aliens, they're not demons. That's what I believe.
Said that David was a figment of the Israelite imagination because no archaeological finds had been discovered that verified his existence. And yet in 1993, in Tel Dan, there was a man who was working named Abraham Byron, who discovered a stone, and on that stone was the inscription of
David.
An Israelite king from the house of David.
Mm-hmm.
The Bible uses that very designation in 1 Kings 12, verse 19. The David inscription validated the biblical text. Number 5, the Moabite.
How do I don't understand. It's like there's just so much archaeological evidence for this stuff. There is so much. How does anybody look at this and just say, nah, it's just a storybook, it's made up? There's no ways, you guys are just believing in a fantasy book. No, because if you actually look at what the Bible says, and if you look at all the evidence surrounding the Bible, there's no doubt in your mind that it can just be a book. There is more history in the Bible alone than any other historical document in history. I mean, Julius Caesar has less archaeological evidence than that Jesus has. It's insane. I mean, let's for instance take the globe belief. They believe Aristotle existed. They believe Aristophanes existed, but there's no archaeological evidence that they ever existed. Just stories passed down from people in a belief of a mathematical, mathematical. How do I pronounce it? Mythological. There we go. With a mythological belief system that they have based on paganism. That's it. There's no actual evidence that even existed. Because the so-called only evidence that, for instance, Aristophanes ever existed burnt down in the Library of Alexandria, which was only reported 300 years after the guy died. Yeah, weird. Yep, I've seen about the chariots at the bottom of the Red Sea. People try and dismiss it and say, no, it's just coral formations and blah, blah, blah. But no, it's shaped exactly like the chariot wheels and everything, just as it would be. So, yes, they definitely did try to pass through in the Red Sea.
Stone. Found in 1868, it's a black basalt stone that measures about 3.5 feet high, 2 feet wide. On that stone, Mesha, the king of Moab, cut lines of text in about 850 BC. Mesha mentions that Omri was the king of Israel who had oppressed Moab, but then Mesha says he saw his desire upon Omri's son and upon his house. The Mesha stone cites Omri as the king of Israel, just as 1 Kings 16, 21 through 28 indicates. Furthermore, it mentions Omri's son, Ahab, in close connection with the Moabites, just as 2 Kings 3, 4 through 6 does. In addition, both the Steel and 2 Kings 3, 4 through 6 list Mesha as the king of Moab, and it further names the Israelite tribe of Gad and the Israelite God Yahweh.
How? I'm sorry, I'm just still flabbergasted. People don't see this and think, oh, wow, that's great evidence. Guys, give me 2 seconds. I just want to get my hoodie or something because it's damn cold. Woo-wee. That's better.
Another validation of the biblical accuracy. Number 6, the Nazareth house. In 2008, a skeptic named Rene Son wrote a book that he claimed destroyed Christianity once and for all. He said that Jesus could not have existed because there was no town of Nazareth in the first century.
Oh, my word.
In 2009, an archaeological discovery was...
I just want to point out to all the Satan Short Seasonists that's watching this. Hey, what's up, Thomas? Glad to see you. Do you notice every time he goes onto Google Earth and he goes to a specific area, it's always where Jerusalem is, where Israel is, in Asia? Just want to point that out. That's where they find all these discoveries. Yeah.
Announced that they had found a small house in Nazareth that dated to the first century.
There we go.
The house was only about 900 feet square total, but it was large enough to provide evidence of the Bible's accuracy. Number 7, the Cyrus cylinder. In 1879, Hormuz Rassam found a small clay cylinder. It's about 9 inches long, and it's now in the British Museum of Natural History. In the ancient city of Babylon, he uncovered this, and this clay cylinder was commissioned by King Cyrus. And it had an inscription on it about his victory over the city of Babylon and his policy toward the nations he had captured. And the text said, "I returned to these sacred cities on the other side of the Tigris, the sanctuaries of which have been in ruins for a long time. The image..."
Tigris, so the Euphrates River exists in Asia. Uh-oh. That's sad. Exactly, Thomas. There's so many prophecies from the Bible alone that show it to be true. Now we're just going through some of the archaeological evidence for it. It's actually hard to do the stream because there's nothing much I can really say against what's being presented because, yeah, it's all just evidence. But it was placed on me to make this for hoping Andrew will show up. But if he doesn't, it's fine. He can just look back to this and he can see the different evidences presented for the Bible. And I would like anybody watching this to please hit the likes and share the show so people know that the Bible is exactly as it states, true and factual.
Which used to live therein and established for them permanent sanctuaries. The policy, often hailed as Cyrus's Declaration of Human Rights, coincides perfectly with the biblical account of the ruler's actions, in which Cyrus decreed that the temple in Jerusalem would be rebuilt and that all the exiled Israelites who wished to join in the venture had his permission and blessings to do so. You'd read that in Ezra chapter 1, verses 1 through 11. This little 9-inch long clay cylinder stands as impressive testimony that validates the biblical accuracy.
100% agree.
Number 8.
Wow.
The discovery of the Pool of Siloam.
Ooh.
In 2004, a majestic stepped entrance to the Pool of Siloam was uncovered in the area known as the City of David. In John chapter 9, verse 7, we read that Jesus said to a blind man, "Go wash in the Pool of Siloam," which is translated sent. So he went and washed and came back seeing. Validation once again of the biblical accuracy. Number 9.
Insanity. I mean, people have to question themselves, how can the stories in the Bible just be a storybook when the actual places and actual descriptions of this, even outside the Bible by outside sources, corroborate this? How do you reconcile with yourself to think, no, this Bible is just a storybook. It doesn't exist. There's nothing there that's any factual. It's all just fantasy. How do you get that into your head when you can see so much of this evidence? When you can see so much of outside source collaboration showing this evidence? I mean, like I said, he's just showing here 9 of these Bible proofs, but there's over 100 of archaeological discoveries that show the Bible to be true and accurate. Quite insane. Quite insane.
9. The Hittite tablets.
Hey.
For many years, people made fun of the biblical text and said it mentioned people and places that never did exist. One of those groups was the nation of the Hittites. But in 1906, Hugo Winkler was doing some excavation in the Turkish city of Baghdaz Koy. There he uncovered 10,000 clay tablets that documented the history of the Hittite nation, and they discovered that that area was the capital of the Hittite nation. In Joshua chapter 11, we read about the Canaanites in the east and the west, and the Amorite and the Hittite.
And Perizite.
In 1906, Hugo Winkler discovered the Hittite nation that the Bible had mentioned some 3,000 years before. The Bible is the most historically accurate book ever penned.
Exactly. Hey, Scott, what's up?
Hey, man.
Good to see you. So
Man.
what are your thoughts on how people can just dismiss Bible discoveries?
How can they dismiss it? Well,
Yeah.
I mean, if they don't believe in it, then I think they dismiss it very easily. But I think it's funny how, I just told you about that Noah's Ark thing. Well, my parents just went to that Noah's Ark Museum in Kentucky. Have you ever heard of that one?
Yes, the Ark Encounter.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
And so they told me, they were like, it's all like, by the description from the Bible, like all the different measurements and everything, right? So I was like, okay, so it was 3 stories and all that stuff, which they kind of talk about in that one thing, in that new discovery, or not discovery, but it's like, it's a scientific research,
Yeah.
But the funny thing is, my dad goes, "Hey, Scotty, there was dinosaurs in there," and I was like, "Dad, dinosaurs aren't real." And he goes, "Oh, well, like because they don't really, like, I've talked to them about flat Earth and dinosaurs and stuff like that and nuclear bombs, and they think I'm crazy for those kind of things. But they're really into the whole Bible. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So it's interesting when you have the people that they're stuck in their ways, and then when you just because they have like why would
Yeah,
they even have dinosaurs on the ark? Because dinosaurs would have been gone way before the ark. So it doesn't make any sense to me.
and I mean, what I also love about the Noah's Ark thing as well is this also plays into that. No, Jesus hasn't returned it, because if everything burnt up, Noah's Ark would have burnt up as well, and it's still here.
Oh, you mean after the? Oh wait, which part would that
Jesus
be?
is coming.
Oh,
I
from
don't, I don't
the
know if you,
from the.
I don't know if you watched the stream last night.
Well, bro, I've been talking about the. I
Satan.
I thought I thought about the Satan's little season or short season, whatever you want to call that. Like 5 years ago, me and my friend were reading Revelation, and I was like, maybe we're in it. And dude, my friend, he truly started believing it, dude. Like 4 years ago, and I haven't talked to him since.
It's
Like he
crazy.
went, like
The way
he
you think.
went like crazy, dude.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. It's like they become zombies. I mean, like the guy last night I was discussing, I was happy he was at least cordial, but he literally just told me I can't trust scripture because it doesn't agree with what he believes. He believes
Well,
Jerusalem.
that's what Mandela effect people would say the same thing, to you. They would say this changing, you know.
I do believe in the Mandela effects because I've seen the Mandela effects itself in the Bible, but it hasn't changed the Bible itself. It hasn't changed
Wait,
the
which
message.
Bible, which verse
The Lion Shall
for
Lie
you?
with the Lamb, the wineskins and bottles,
Okay,
Matrix. I've seen that's also the Matrix. There's quite a few, but
Matrix. Oh yeah, Matrix was weird. That was weird. Like I don't remember Matrix being in the Bible when
I
I read it
never
when I was a
read the
kid.
word the Matrix.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's. I'm definitely going to do a stream on the Mandela effect again in the Bible and stuff because there is a few, but it doesn't change the fact about the message it still brings across. It still brings exactly the same message.
Oh no, it doesn't change the main. That's the thing about the Mandela effect. It's always just basic or like
It's little
non-mattering
small
things.
thing, yeah. It's like where it was a lion, now it's a wolf. You know what I mean? Where it was wineskin, it's now a bottle. Things like that.
Well, I mean, there there were bottles in that period of time though.
Yeah, there were bottles, but the
They had
problem with the
glass.
wineskin argument is it's it can get it goes about preservation. The wineskin can still degrade. The bottle doesn't degrade because it's glass.
Yeah, I
You
didn't
understand?
expect you to be. I didn't know that you're a Mandela guy. That's funny. I didn't even know that.
Yeah, I
I
take
mean,
it on a different way though. I take it on. I think it's a spiritual thing. So you're
well,
gonna
that's
see
the thing.
even
People get confused by that too because they think it's like when I tell my wife that she's like, "What do you mean spiritual?" I'm like, "Well, because it's changed. Like, you know."
that's why I do believe we're in the end times, and I think if you have the Holy Spirit, He's able to guide you through these deceptions. So people must still
Well,
understand that
definitely.
the Bible is still just a book written by men. It's an inspired word of God. God's word doesn't change, but the printing on the Bible, it's still just tree. It's still just tree with ink. It's people
So
try and take it and they say, "Oh, it's the word of God, so it can't change." No, this is a book. The words
well,
in
of
it.
course, it's just words and books. It's paper and it's and it's also translated so many times, of course, too.
Yeah.
But no, what's crazy, bro, is have you even noticed like Richard from Boston has been talking about like Richard from Boston is like huge
Rock.
in the truth,
I love that guy. Richard
and he's
Boston
talking about
is a hero.
the short season thing now too.
I actually want to invite him for a discussion sometime. Because yeah,
That would be cool, yeah.
he's also on that at the moment, and yeah, I don't know.
Well, Richie would totally. He's on your side because he's obviously. Well, he's not read the Bible as much as you have, or as much as I have, or well, he's trying.
What I like
But
about him, he reads it in a logical sense as well, how it fits and doesn't fit, and that's
well, it's
exactly all.
interesting to see people do that. Yeah,
Yeah, that's all the person needs to do.
I love the people that just started reading it, recently in the past even 10 years. I love to see how they take the Bible, but yeah, but the thing is though about the short season is there's so little like evidence or proof of it And
So
then,
nothing.
there has to be so many things like you've obviously talked about, like, to happen, like the bowls. Like, dude, the bowls are like amazing, the crazy things that are supposed to happen before that.
Yeah, I mean, like the guy last night, when I asked him, okay, here's the Mount of Olives. Jesus returns that Mount of Olives if it's supposed to get torn in two. I give him the verse, everything. He says, but that's not where the real Jerusalem is. And I'm like, okay, if you claim that's not where the real Jerusalem is, where is it? Oh, I don't know. And then I must just accept it because he says he doesn't know.
You mean the New Jerusalem, the 1,000-year reign Jerusalem, the
Yeah,
cube?
they claim where Israel is now is not where it is. They claim that is a fake Israel, a fake Jerusalem. They claim Jesus, the guy last night, he claims Jesus is staying in the North Pole.
Yeah, I heard you say that, I think today or yesterday or whatever it was. Is that what they're trying to say now too?
Yeah.
It's like they're really like, oh wow, yeah, they're reinventing scripture is what they're
Yeah,
doing.
they cherry pick verses and show they don't understand what they're reading. When he's bringing Ezekiel up and it's talking about God is talking about the armies and the cities surrounding Jerusalem, so it's the center. They take that as, oh well, on a flat Earth, the North Pole is the center, so that means Jerusalem's in the North Pole.
Oh, okay, I see what you're saying. I didn't know. I haven't heard that one yet. That's
But
weird,
yeah,
dude.
my question, based on logic, though, if God is more powerful than Satan, why is God hiding in the North Pole? Why haven't we seen him come and intervene?
Well, they might say that, like, well, that's the thing though. That's the part about the thing is it never does say that he leaves.
He never does. He stays here.
It
That's
doesn't
why
say
there's
that in the
only two
Bible.
comings. There's only two
It's very
comings.
simple. You can just read Revelation. It's very easy. Just read all entire Revelation, and you can disprove the fact that a lot of these points that they're trying to make are not, are not even prophecy.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of the things like when it talks about the millennial reign, it's 1,000 year of peace and prosperity. Okay, there's no death.
Yes.
So because heaven
Yeah,
has
and it doesn't
passed
talk
away.
about building things either, by the way. Yeah. It
Yeah,
never
yeah,
says they're building amazing things. I mean, we might build amazing things in that millennial reign, but
yeah.
it doesn't say that specifically.
But the structures they try and present to us as these amazing things are all based on old Victorian era buildings that have symbols to pagan worship idols and gods.
Yeah, it's
Why in
Gothic,
the millennial
it's
reign? Why in the millennial
pagan.
reign will Jesus let them build pagan buildings?
He wouldn't. He definitely wouldn't. And
Exactly.
also, it's only in one area, too. You have to
Uh,
remember the millennial reign is in a, what is it, like 42 miles or something wide or whatever? It's not like the whole world of the whole flat earth, It's
yeah, it's
only
just
a small cube,
it's yeah, it's where the New
It's not
Jerusalem
small.
will be
It's
set.
big, but
It's big, but yeah, it's only one section. But all the nations will know. I mean, he will
yeah,
still rule everywhere.
exactly. Everyone will know about it, and
Mhm.
then after that, but that's the thing. So then after that, the Gog and Magog war will happen after that.
Yeah, the Gog and Magog comes after Jesus. Well, the Gog and
After
Magog is
millennial
going to
reign.
come now with when tribulation comes, so before the second coming.
No, it's after
Well,
the
Armageddon,
millennial
wait, that's
reign.
Armageddon. That's after the second coming. You're right.
Yeah, it's after. It's after
Before he
when
releases, yeah,
when he
when
releases from the pit. Yeah,
yeah, and then he they
and
binds
that's the
up.
very end. That's the very
Yeah, this
very
is
end.
yeah, exactly. So it will be the judgment.
Yeah, pretty much
But I
before
mean,
the final judgment.
yeah, because what we're supposed to have seen now, if Jesus has come with the millennial reign, there would be dead people walking around because would have immortal bodies. Because heaven passes away when Jesus comes, according to the Bible, because the heaven gets dissolved in 3 Peter and the earth burns up. So if that happens, nobody can go to heaven because it hasn't been created yet. God would first have to create a new heaven and earth.
Well, yeah, the sky will open up like a scroll, and then the heaven shall come down to
Mm-hmm.
create the actual, the
Yeah.
the final. We will actually live here, in the final resting place is the paradise eternal kingdom. which is in second Baruch and many other translations. I mean, not translation, books. Have you read
Yeah.
those other books?
I've
You know
read
about that,
some of
obviously.
Enoch. I've read some of Jubilees. I
Jubilees,
still,
yes, that's a good one.
and Maccabees and things. I do still believe it's very important to first understand the Bible, read the Bible before you read those books because they are
Oh,
pseudo-apocryphal.
definitely, definitely, yes.
I can't say I fully trust the Book of Enoch and stuff, but there's aspects in the Book of Enoch and stuff that do make more sense if you take it in context of what the Bible says.
I totally agree with you. I mean, I've heard some stuff that doesn't make sense. Plus, it's also it was translated by what's his name, HR whatever his name was. I mean, there's like one translation, So how can you trust one translation?
Not really, can't really.
You know what
But
I mean?
yeah, but it's an interesting thing. I think we're definitely in interesting times. I mean, when you look at a lot of people that don't want the third temple to be built, they just totally ignore it. They're like, oh, there's going to be no third temple. It's just spiritual. It's like, well, Jesus literally said in Matthew 24 that temple has to exist. 2 Thessalonians, it also says that temple physically has to exist. Daniel prophesied that temple has to physically exist. Revelation shows that the temple physically exists.
Yeah,
It's
Daniel,
all,
second Daniel too. Yeah.
yeah. And then all they
Yep.
say is, no, it's just a spiritual temple. It's like, no.
Oh, is that what they say? It's just a spiritual temple, like
They
a.
say we are the third temple. That's what they say. They
Oh,
say
it's kind
we.
of like a spiritual, like it's kind of like the spaces, like fake. I mean, not fake, but I mean like how they twist. It's not really a temple. It's a space temple kind of.
Yeah. They
You know what I
aim
mean?
it. The amillennialists. They take it as an allegory. They say it's a
Exactly.
spirit.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's crazy.
Well, that's what my mom would say, and my mom like believes in the Bible. I mean, she reads the Bible every year, and she still thinks we're on a globe. So
Yeah, look, I don't have an issue with people believing it's on the globe. To be honest, it doesn't change whether they're saved or not. Um, I
no,
do,
it
however,
doesn't.
think that if you are a Christian and you, for instance, read the Bible and you say, okay, well, I still believe it's a globe, even though the Bible shows it not to be. I think that's just something personal somebody has to work through because they will stand probably before God one day and have to explain why, in a way they're saying, well, I didn't trust you as the creator because you told me what it is and I didn't believe you. You know what I mean? But I don't think it changes whether a person's saved or not.
No, I
I
don't at all. No,
Yeah. That's why.
definitely not. I guarantee you, my mom is saved
Exactly.
as much saved as you can imagine, bro.
Exactly. That's
Like
my whole point.
it's
And
it's amazing.
it's sad. And it's sad to see so much flat earthers literally say, well, if you believe a globe, you're not a Christian. That actually, I don't agree with that at all. Because I do believe that it's a spiritual thing. And people go to it at their own time. I mean, I've been a Christian most of my life. I was always a globe believing Christian. So it's not like I was
Wait,
born a flat
when did
earther.
you? I don't know this. When did you actually like figure out the fact that we're not spinning and we're not on a ball?
Sure, I think it was like 12 years ago.
12?
Um,
Okay.
it I was actually I was
That
actually
was
on
before
holiday.
me.
I was actually on holiday, and I don't know, somewhere somehow, and it wasn't really on the internet. I was thinking, I came across where someone spoke about Flat Earth, but I didn't really watch it or anything. And then when I was on holiday, we were at the beach and things, and I was looking at some of the ships and stuff, and I was like, yeah, this can be explained optically. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Because I
yeah,
studied
totally.
art. I studied art and perspective and stuff. So I was looking at that and I was like, yeah, this, and it just, kind of just stuck in my mind for a bit. And then later on, I was looking more into it, and then, yeah, it was kind of overnight. It's like, yeah, something just clicked. I was like, yeah, okay, this can be explained optically. And then from there, yeah, flat Earth.
How old are you?
I am now 38.
38?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, well, you're young, bro. Wow, that's crazy. So that was when you were 20, like early 20s. That's
Yeah,
cool.
like 26 around about there.
Yeah.
Yeah, me and my wife were. I think me and my wife were married for like 15 years already. Can't believe it.
Yeah,
Time goes by.
the first time I didn't think we were spinning, or like when I figured out that they were bullshit, like lying to us about the satellites orbiting, was in 1995 when I was in college, and I was like, that doesn't make sense. In astronomy class, I took it
Hmm.
like astronomy 101, in college, just for like it's like an elective, and I was like, this doesn't add up to me. And then I started thinking about it, and after that, I just started being into questioning everything that I hear from the you know the college. Really, I mean, like the
Yeah.
teachers and the professors.
But
And
that's the thing. They have to teach a curriculum, and even though if it doesn't make sense,
well, of
they kind
course, I know that. I didn't know that then. I was just thinking in my own mind. I was like, that
yeah.
doesn't make sense. Falling, and it's a perpetual falling around a ball. The gravity is
Non-stop
pulling.
bullying.
The gravity pulls it in perfectly. I'm like, no, no, this has got to be wrong. And after that, I was just like done. So
Yeah.
everything was just.
Yeah. What gets me about this whole thing is everything is just so coincidentally perfect. The sun's distance is perfectly away. The moon's distance is perfectly away. All the planets are just perfectly away with a specific perfect mass, specific perfect shape. It just doesn't make sense. I
Yeah,
mean, if you think about
perfect
it,
proportions, like
yeah.
four
If you
times as far away, so it's four times as small. So then it looks exactly the same size. And
yeah,
then
and if you
people will just clap and go, yes.
it's crazy. And if you think about like the moon, when it supposedly passes between the Earth and uh and the sun, that gravitational pull from the sun's supposed to be quite big on the moon because it's much closer than the Earth. It doesn't pull it away. It doesn't do anything. It
No,
just
it's yeah,
stays in
specifically.
perfect orbit. It's like,
Yeah, I was thinking about the same thing you're thinking about. Like, I always think about this. Like, how can you possibly think that though? Because like Coriolis, for example, the Coriolis effect. Do you understand that if it was real, like I just looked this up tonight. Like I was looking up, I looked up who's the first person that coined that term, right? And I
yeah,
looked, the date was 1930 something, right? And I
long
asked
after
Google it,
flight.
and I said, what was the first howitzer? Because a howitzer is like, you know what a howitzer is?
Yeah.
It's it shoots freaking giant freaking rounds. And I
Hmm.
said, does that use a Coriolis effect? The first one? It said yes, and it was created in like 1810, or no, I mean
How does
1910. No,
yeah, but
1910.
before
So
Coriolis was
it contradicts it
yeah.
because nobody even knew what it was yet.
But
I
that's the
mean,
thing.
this
I
you
mean,
can
look
do
at the
this all
plane.
day.
Yeah, I
You can
mean,
ask you can ask like the AI now because or whatever you call it, the Google AI. You
yeah,
can
but
ask it
that's
questions and just figure out that they're making
but I
stuff
mean,
up.
yeah, the thing is with Google, the like ChatGPT and stuff, it's based on the information it's fed though. So it's just going to, you know, go on what it's programmed to be. Like we were showing the other day with Luca and talking about an independent and dependent variable. It says yes, you can have multiple independent variables for a scientific experiment, but you like, but
Multiple independent variables means you got no experiment.
exactly. So how?
You know
And
what
then
I
when
mean?
you it just makes it correlation based, and it's not causation because you don't know what caused what. And you're like, what's going on? I mean, it was the same with the thing with Archimedes' principle. Archimedes' principle came 1,900 years before gravity was even postulated as a thing. Ships were working on the principle of Archimedes' principle. Okay, so all the calculations they did, all the everything they built ships on, had nothing to do with gravity whatsoever. Yet it worked.
Well, yeah, because they're using variables, like you said, and people don't realize that part because they're not mathematical nerds like us. They don't know what even a variable means. You know what I mean? I hate to say it like that. So it's like you got to understand that about people, and that's what I've been learning. Like I mean, the past 10 years, I've been learning that I have to talk to people a certain way, or else it's not going to work.
Yeah,
You know,
that is that way.
because Keith, I like ruined a wedding party one time, kind of, because I was like, look at that water, and we were on the beach in Florida, and I was like, look at that light way out there, and everybody was like, I was like, yeah, see that light? You couldn't see that light if we were on the globe, and like people freaked out, and like 20 people started
They get
freaking out.
triggered. They get triggered. Yeah.
Yeah, they got super triggered, and I didn't.
I've
I
seen
was
that.
just. It was in the very beginning, you know, like when I first started talking to people about it, and I realized really quickly that it wasn't good.
Yeah, no,
It was not
it's difficult. You get the opportunities where you can talk to the people about it, but you also sometimes you have to know when not to. You know what I mean? Because it
yeah,
does affect
you
some
choose your
people.
battles. You choose your
Yeah,
battles.
it does
You
affect
know,
some people really badly.
dude, it does, man. I mean, my mom started sending me stuff about these preachers that were like anti-flat earthers, and I was like that one guy, you know, like oh, what I forget that what guy.
Greg Locke,
What,
Greg Locke, Andrew. It's
yeah, I mean, there's so many of them, you know.
quite a few of them.
And she would send me these things, and I was like, I've already heard about these guys. like she's trying to tell me about, you know what I mean? Like I already knew about these guys that were anti-flat earthers. You know what I mean? It didn't work. Like she was trying to reverse it on me. You know,
Yeah, yeah. But
God bless her though. I mean,
she's
she's
trying to
just,
help.
she's mind controlled. You know,
Yeah, and she
she's
just
mind.
see you have to look at it from her point of view as well, because she cares
Of
about you,
course,
and
I do.
she thinks you've been
Yeah,
bamboozled. And
she thinks maybe I'm being. Yeah, maybe I'm going into. Well, bro, I even talked to her about the little season, and all
Mhm.
I said was this back in the beginning when I first thought about it, and I was just like, is it possible? She was like, never thought about that, and she didn't freak out about it. And I mean, 5 years later, now I'm just like, why are people freaking out about it, dude? Like, people, it really is becoming a division, bro. Like, I really do see it. It's becoming like a psyop.
Yeah, no, it is. It's kind of crept in very deep all of a sudden. I mean, every day there seems to be new channels popping up just dedicated to this.
Yeah, and bro, dude, like you put that thing out to JT follows JC,
Yeah,
and
he's
and
totally avoiding me.
he still hasn't even talked to you yet.
He's avoiding me. Everybody
Oh,
that supports
why?
him,
That's weird.
yeah, all the people that support him aren't going to tell him, "Hey, Flatzoid wants to talk to you." You know, it's just everybody. It's literally like the guy is trying to stay away from me as far as possible.
Well, maybe because you might. I mean, honestly, dude, I thought the guy was a decent dude. Like, I think he's a decent dude. I think he just believes in what he believes. I think
Yeah, I
he's a
got
good
nothing.
dude. Like, honestly,
I just think he has a bit of a dishonest streak on him, because if he doesn't want to hear the other side, to me that's a bit of dishonest.
maybe he's riding that. I think it's like a thing. Like Jaron. Like Jaron's riding a new wave now. Well, he's not really
Yeah,
riding it. He's not making anything, but he's still getting. He's got Dave. Well, I don't want to go into that tangent, but I don't know, dude. Like these people are just in the. This world is a weird place, man. I mean, it's pretty
yeah.
weird,
Well, the
you
Bible
know.
does say this kind of things are going to happen in end times, so
Yeah,
that's
there'll
something
be
we
a great
expect.
delusion. There'll be a great delusion. People will fall away from faith, and honestly, I do see that. I see the falling away from faith thing.
Yeah. The latest argument I get from them is these buildings you're talking about, there were no toilets.
I know. Yeah, I've heard of that a long time ago. Yeah,
And then if you look through history of plumbing and toiletry and stuff, they didn't have the materials we have today. They had communal bathrooms because of sanitary
actually,
things.
well, no, well, they did have like fountains and stuff, didn't they? Like
Yes,
fountains. Like, why did they?
and they had specific communal bathrooms where people went because of sanitary. Like
Oh,
today, we have a
because
much
I
better
got you.
Today we have
Yeah, like,
much better plumbing systems. Those days they didn't have the system like we do today, where we have underground plumbing and all that. So
well, like for each bedroom, you're saying, like for each
yeah,
room.
in houses
Yeah, I
we
see
have.
what you're saying.
They didn't have
Yeah.
really have bathrooms in bedrooms those days. They had like, if you go to poor communities, you'll see they have outhouses.
That's what I'm
There's a
saying. Yeah.
reason why they're outhouse. It's because of sanitary things. They don't have plumbing to get rid of or everything, so they have to make do with what they got. Those are the same in those times. They literally had communal places where people go to the toilet for sanitary purposes.
Good
Well,
morning,
What's
guys.
up, Roger?
hey,
Not
Roger.
much. They usually did. It was like even in the Bible, they told you not to, crap where you eat.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's true.
Don't do it.
It's very true.
That's something,
exactly.
man.
Iraqis still use a hole in the ground. Exactly. I remember because my dad was in the army, and
Did
I
you
grew
say
up
the Japanese they use the hole in the ground? Yeah,
around
I've heard that.
Iraqis and the Japanese also.
Oh,
Yeah, but
I was gonna say, yeah, well, there's some places, yeah, they don't even have like toilets.
it's just a hole.
That's
It's
weird.
literally just
Yeah,
a
it's
hole.
not. That's kind of weird.
I've seen some places that have the toilet and the shower in one.
So,
Like
so are you gonna look at this? So Keith, you haven't seen this yet? Like Noah's Ark's, like it's pretty cool, dude. Like
Yeah, that's
how
why I
it's
got it up now so we can see it. And this was recent, May 13th.
what's amazing. Yeah, it's just the other day, and like what's amazing about this? It's on the New York Post. That's the
Uh-huh.
most amazing part. So they're like promoting, like Noah's Ark, man. It's cool. That's why I wanted to call. I mean, I was going to tell Roger about this the other night, and I didn't, which is interesting. But just when I was talking about Noah's Ark, how amazing, how to think about like how it really did happen, and then they have this now.
Yeah, awesome. What's up,
I see
Andrew? Good to see you,
Andrew.
man.
Hey, good
Andrew
morning.
B.
That's me.
Andrew B.
Good to see you, man. Give me 2 seconds. I just want to put myself some cereal. I'm quite hungry. You guys
Oh, I was
talk
talking about the howitzer. Yeah, Andrew B was talking about the howitzer too. That's why he
Oh, yeah.
probably came on.
Well, sort of. I have a bunch of
No,
things to.
Coriolis.
No, he
Right.
planned this out.
I was looking at. I called up my buddy, who's retired long range artillery in the army, and I was like, "Do you have any of those training manuals anymore?"
Yeah, I
he's
heard
like,
you talk about this on
Yeah.
the other morning. Yeah, it's awesome. Yeah, listen to this, Roger.
Okay. So, I mean, I'll pull up the entire manual. It does take a little bit for it to load.
Oh, you got the PDFs for it? Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It's 600,
Yeah.
600 pages, right? And
Something like that. Yeah.
I'll let you say it,
Yeah.
but it doesn't talk about Coriolis.
Yeah, me and Flats here, we dug through naval artillery manuals, and we couldn't find where they actually use any of the Coriolis thing. We did a long deep dive on it. It's fun.
Well, yeah, dude. And it's funny after I thought about this, I was like I just talked about earlier, I'm like, dude, where did the Coriolis come from? It just made up bullshit, dude. Nobody ever thought about the movement of the Earth at all back in the day, like back before 1910 or something.
Mm-hmm.
Before 1910, nobody even talked about it
So
in the military.
Yeah, how do you account for Coriolis if it was only presented like 20, 30 years later?
Well, do you understand how the calculations according to where you're located, right? It would be different for everyone in every direction.
Uh-huh.
For every direction, think about it, right? If you're if the ball is spinning, then every direction you shoot at would have a different computation. You understand that, right, guys?
If you look at let's say World War One or whatever, they didn't have computers yet to calculate everything automatically. They had to calculate itself then. If you let you take a second too long to calculate, you'll be dead. I mean, I
Yeah,
can guarantee
exactly.
people in war never calculate for damn Coriolis because
There was no computers yet. There was no computer telling them anything yet. And what 19? What was it? What did it start? World War One was 1911 or something.
1914.
I think it was 1913 to 19.
Yeah.
13 to something.
It was about the same length as World War II.
It's like 13 to 19 or something, whatever it was. But I mean, I'm saying there was no computers, like actual computers, to correlate, to computate.
Yeah, they had rudimentary electrical stuff even at that time as well, and I know that because I'm an electrician.
Of course, they had electricity. They had
Well,
electrical components, but they didn't have computers. I'm saying.
Oh
You know?
no, I totally agree. Yeah.
That's all I'm saying. Yeah.
if you do look through the manuals and stuff, it's very specific to the conditions that need to be required to meet what these guys are claiming, and it's never met. So if they do claim, oh, artillery accounts for Coriolis, no, because it's never met. The things they do account for is like, for instance, barrel distortion
Wind,
roll.
wind.
Like wind, yes, and elevation, because obviously there is different elevations when you're shooting. So
Yes.
they
Of course. Yes.
misrepresent elevation as curve. They misrepresent wind and barrel roll due to the barreling of the barrel. They take
And
that
the
as a
drop.
Coriolis.
And the drop.
Right.
And the drop.
Right.
The drop
There's
rate.
even recoil. There's even recoil with these guns that they have to be taken into account.
So I'm sharing my screen right now.
Yeah, it's on screen.
I'm still going to be looking for the other manual. This is a very short one, but this is again from the Army Research Laboratory. This is the propagation of electromagnetic fields over flat Earth. Like what? In 2001. All right. So this is actually it's fairly short. It's only 33 pages long. Don't take anything.
No, not gonna take it.
Okay.
How are you proving this? How you prove this is actual government documentation?
Because it's directly off of a military website.
A military website by.
It's off the Army's military their training website.
Okay. Oh, okay. Can you prove that part?
Yeah. So
I'm being devil's advocate, Andrew. I'm just being like,
Yeah,
because I love to prove things like that.
Yeah,
I don't believe it because it's Masonic. It's 33 on the top, man. Come on.
I'm not saying that. I'm just saying for the retards out there that say this isn't true. Andrew B made this up on a PDF file.
People have used that against me. It's like I show a document. It's like, oh no, you didn't. You just made this. You got someone to make it. It's like, what?
Well, welcome to the trolls.
All right, so it's a .mil website.
There you go. Show.
Yep, not .gov. .mil.
Army Research Laboratory. Ooh, awesome.
Yep. So again,
and it does say. It's funny that it said flat Earth. This plain sight.
Oh, it was right in the freaking topic. It's the title.
Well, I know. Every document I've ever seen assumes what? What does it assume, Andrew?
I love the Earth parameters that
always
it's
assumes it's flat and stationary, non-rotating.
Yep. Non-rotating and level. Yep.
And check what it gives for the Earth parameters. Even that changes its variable. Seawater, wet Earth, dry Earth, lake water, dry land. Huh.
There you go with the variables.
Yeah, the horizontal dipole.
It's a little difficult to comprehend, only because if you haven't taken calculus or even pre-calculus, a lot of this stuff is just going to be completely confusing.
Over your head, yeah.
Dude, I took calculus and pre-calculus and calculus too, and I probably forgot all about it.
Yeah, I took calculus as well.
You know what I mean? Like
out of calculus too.
Yeah, actually, yeah, I did too. By the way, I didn't.
And gentlemen,
finish
have you
calculus
ever
too.
used any of that in real life?
No,
Nope.
I forgot about it.
This is
No.
so cool. If you go to page 7, the power density of the target for a given source will depend on the destructive and constructive scattering of the fields as they propagate to the target. That is so interesting. That means it's based on the density of. It's not.
Wait, say that again. I missed that. Do you say it again?
Page 7. The power density at the target for a given source will depend on the destructive and constructive scattering of the fields as they propagate to the target. So it's got to do with the density. Yeah, the fields have to do with
the fields, yeah.
Not gravity.
Gravity?
Yeah, there's no gravity.
Well, it's a downward vector.
Oh, okay.
Or buoyancy. Or buoyancy.
And there we go. There it says, but near the surface of a flat, idealized Earth, constant permittivity. Horizontal dipoles.
Not exactly
parallel to the plane of the
English,
ground.
but it's right on. Yeah.
Yeah. This is a great find, man.
Cool. I'm gonna look for the other one. I'm gonna stop sharing. That way, you guys, because as you were getting some cereal.
Getting some cereal.
No, I was looking for
It's
the
Creality cereal. It's Creality cereal.
General Mills makes it.
No, I hope not.
It's my high protein cereal.
Is this steel oats?
Nah,
Steel cut oats?
it's almost like Prenitra.
What is
I
that?
pay for that for the name.
Some South
talking about steel
African
cut.
specialty.
Yeah, it's I wonder what would it be called in you guys? I don't know.
Andrew,
Is it
yeah,
hot cereal, cold cereal?
I know you got something else. What do you got? What else you got, Andrew? V?
it's loading.
Oh, it's loading. Whatever he's got.
I think I found it. I thought I had it saved in a folder on my bookmarks bar, but I can't seem to find it. But anyways, it's just the U.S. Army's Long Range Artillery Training Manual that I asked my buddy if he had any copies of, and he said no. He said you can probably find it online though, because it's not like classified information or anything. So then I read 2/3 of it.
I was going to say, so two
That's like
thirds.
700, I think.
So hold on, 2/3 is 200 pages. That's 200 because you said it was 600 pages.
700,
Or no, 2/3.
I think that's
2/3 is 400.
Around 400 pages, yeah.
400 pages, yeah. My bad.
I read one that was 750 pages long. That was the one I was discussing with Bob the Science Guy.
Yeah,
Good
so when I
times,
was
man.
in Discord with Shane and
Bob the
Alan
Science
and a bunch
Guy.
of other people, I sent that to Shane because he knows how to use Adobe a lot better than me. And he ran it through Adobe through a word check. There was not a single word about Earth curve, Earth rotation, Coriolis, or anything like that in the entire manual.
Yeah.
Not shocking at all, is it?
I love that, dude. It's using technology against them. Like searching that quick. Like you just say, search for Coriolis. Nothing.
Yeah, and then it's a little more difficult to find, but U.S. Navy training manuals in regards to railguns, and those are like classified type of weapons.
What I love about the rail guns is it's a line of sight, so it has to see its target.
Dude, railguns, yeah.
And the thing is, I think the furthest shot for a railgun is something like almost 250 kilometers or something.
It's somewhere around there, yeah.
Well, even like the way they build them, and it's all built on level ground and level. Everything runs level.
Mm-hmm.
It's very simple, actually.
Yeah, it's not letting me load that page.
But what if it like just kind of curves a little bit?
It doesn't
What about
want to
that?
load. I was trying to get this gunnery manual up, but it doesn't seem to want to load. Let's try a different one. Field artillery manual gunnery.
Well, Scott, I got a question for you. How do you measure a curve?
Sorry, give me 2 seconds.
Oh, you ask Jaren or Ruhif.
No, I've already asked Ruhif. Ruhif has never answered me back. I sent him a photograph, and I said, "Show me the curve in it." Basically, break it down for me, and he never got back to me. I forgot where I was at when I did it in one of the chats.
Why hasn't anybody made the whole like thing like show me the curve, like show me the money, except show me the curve?
I could add that into the show.
I mean, that's retarded. Never saw that movie before, but I mean, I just thought of it. Show me the curve. Like nobody can show you your curve, but they're like, dude, it's definitely curving. Definitely, like 100%.
Well, the only ones that I've heard of lately where people are, I'm not sure if you guys are aware of who Jesse Gordon is.
Not offhand. No.
He's in. I met him in Discord a couple years ago.
He met him in Discord, of course.
Yeah, and he has his own YouTube channel as well. He doesn't do a whole lot of stuff, but he's by the way, he's a bullshit liar. I'll just flat out say that. He's as honest as a fucking.
I saw that coming. From a mile away.
Oh yeah.
You're like, I met him, and then he's a bullshit liar.
Did this guy go by another name called Jesse Path of Light?
Yes, that's his. Yeah,
I,
but his
I,
first.
I've had him on my show. I know him. No, you don't
I
have to
knew
say
that
anything
Roger
else.
knew him.
Yeah,
I knew that you knew him.
But his first and last name is Jesse Gordon. He was trying to hide his face for a long time.
Little sneaksters.
I was like, dude, come on. My name's Andrew Baker. I live in San Jose, California. Like, I'll give you my phone number and my fucking address. I don't care. Stop being a fucking bitch, Jesse. And I guess I I got on his nerves a little bit, and he finally, he's like, all right, fine, I'll show my face. Well, I'll show my face. And I never graduated from high school or went to college. But I programmed my own AutoCAD program. I worked as a network engineer.
Wait, he programmed his own AutoCAD program? Really?
That's what he told me.
That's what he said?
Worked as a network engineer. And
he lies, probably.
And he knows how to rebuild like anything mechanical. And he builds circuit boards.
Did he build a Geek machine? A Geek engine?
Well, he says he knows how to work on anything mechanical.
Well, maybe he should think about that.
Like jet engines or something, but
he works on diesel engines on liners and stuff and ships. That's what he does, I think.
But yeah,
but he tried to bet me every time anything. It's like, want to bet $50? Bet $50. I'll make this claim. You make a claim, and $50 is the bet. That's the first thing he does automatically. I don't know why he does that. I have no idea.
Yeah, dude, really quick, while I have like 3 people that are smart on this panel, can you guys tell me what they're trying to say about this whole fact that they're trying to say this 360 degrees is 69 miles per degree because we live on a 24,600 circumference at the equator. What is going on with that? Like, really, in a short synopsis. Why are they saying this?
Well, what they're using is the longitude latitude measurements from Polaris out, and they're giving the radius to the equator. And once you get to the
equator, that's what I'm saying. How does
get a line of sight?
But what does that have to do with the star?
Because Nathan Oakley's been screaming it for the last 6 years over and over again. The latitude lines prove a flat Earth. The longitude lines from Polaris prove a flat Earth. That's what he's been saying over and over. And he says it's all measured flat because you have to level them all out. Everything's leveled out. You have any instrument that you actually use to get that measurement is on a level. That's his flat Earth measurements. Yeah,
it just doesn't make any sense.
Well, they're using globe coordinates, to actually to apply the measurements with.
Like, we were talking to Bev. It's like, dude, you have to have a radius. Like you even said, of what is it, 69, 59? What's the radius of this freaking so-called globe?
Well, he says they made this up, but it's 39, 16?
Allegedly.
39, 59?
Yeah.
Okay, that's what I meant. Whatever. But I'm just saying, like, I don't understand why what this guy is talking about. But anyway.
They're shooting for Nathan Oakley because he goes around debating this all the time. That's why they do it.
Okay.
And there's another manual right there.
Anyway, honestly though, I'm gonna go back to. I mean, not me, but I mean, I want to ask Keith Creality, about more of these proofs of the Bible. Dude, I mean, that's why I called in. That's why I love it, dude. I love the fact.
Yes,
yeah, I mean, Andrew, you probably missed the first 9 evidences we brought up.
I came in about 25 minutes late.
And actually, Andrew, I want to ask you a question. Do you believe in the Bible? Like, do you believe the Bible's real?
It's a real thing. I don't believe in the stuff that's in it, though.
What do you mean the stuff? What's the stuff part?
The stories. It's never been.
What do you mean the stories? It's actually. Oh no, I mean you're right. It's not been verified, but the stories are pretty amazing.
Well, okay. I'm not going to say that the Bible has bad messages in it necessarily, but yesterday when I was on this stream, I asked that question. I think that's why it's titled the title of this.
Yeah, it's for you specifically. Yeah.
Yeah. So I was raised Christian, actually Mormon at first, and then
Mormon.
Oh yeah, and then my parents basically took us out of that church, and we abandoned all of that. And then it took us a while to. And this is when I was pretty young. And then I got into just
That
regular,
makes sense. That makes sense.
whatever church we were going to at the time. I don't really know, but I already had such a bad instinct when it
Yep.
came to
Mhm.
religion that I
Kind of
really-
like Jaron. Kind of like Jaron.
sort of, but I am.
Yeah.
Well, he went to a Jesuit high school. He fully
Yeah,
admits
I'm
that.
just saying.
but
Similar.
And then I've met Kent Hovind, by the way. I've been.
nice.
in his
That's
fucking
what I was
house.
talking about. Isn't it
Um,
Ken Hovind?
Yeah. Well, anyways, I'm not going to get into that story at the moment.
But he's the one that like he's so anti-globe. I mean, the anti-flat Earth.
yeah,
Yeah, he's so
he's very,
globy.
very,
Yeah, he's super globy. Yeah.
So then, yeah, fuck it. I'll tell you guys the story.
Well, no. Oh, go ahead.
Well, so it
It was only a simple point. I was just wondering if you believed in Jesus Christ as your Lord and Savior.
I don't.
Okay, yeah, that's what I thought. I mean, that's
I'm
cool.
not atheist. I'm not retarded. I mean,
You believe in a create, like a actual, like
Creation,
something,
Yes.
something created us, or someone.
yes, intelligent design, an entity.
Yeah,
of some
definitely.
sort. And
Okay.
aside from
Well-
that, I would be lying to myself and to anyone else.
Exactly. Good job.
I was coming out of the chow hall. This was on a Sunday morning. I had to go to this one chow hall. I was in Pensacola, Florida. And that's when I was coming out, breakfast, and this guy literally, he pops out in front of me with a Bible, and he's like, "Hey, what are you doing today? Like, you want to come have a free lunch?" I was like, "Yeah, sure." Like, yeah, come to our church service, and we're going to provide. They had like these 3 big, vans that were over there, and just loading up a whole bunch of military members. I was in Pensacola for training, by the way. Anyways,
Oh yeah, you're Navy, right? My dad was
Well,
Navy, and he was in
yeah, was
Pensacola.
Navy,
Yeah, what I'm saying, you still are kind of. I mean, come on.
Eh.
My dad
I
was
was-
in Pensacola too, and yeah, I know it's one of the bigger bases.
Pensacola, yeah, it's a pretty big base.
Mhm,
Anyways,
yep.
The largest base is a Marine Corps base. It's called 29 Palms in Southern California. Anyways,
I'm talking about naval base.
we went to we all got basically taken over to this church, which was about a half an hour drive away. I didn't expect it to be that far. And then from there, they had a bunch of these other veterans, all in their military garbs, like VFW guys, things like that. And they did their entire. We got there a little bit late, so I didn't see the entire sermon. And Ken Hovind was up on stage. I didn't know who the guy was. And then
He was there back then. He was on stage back then.
Yeah.
That's crazy, bro. This is amazing.
So,
Okay, go ahead.
I didn't really meet him. It was just like he was doing like a sermon.
But you
I
realize that who he was now, according to when you were you're like, wait, that's the same guy that was there at the naval base.
Yeah, and then after
It's crazy.
no, he was at the naval base. No, he was just at the church. But then
I'm saying though, he wasn't like a thing yet. Obviously, then when you saw him.
yeah, that was in 2002, I think. So it was a
Yeah,
little while.
like you didn't know that
while
he
ago.
became. It's crazy to think about. Like you're realizing it now after you saw him.
Yeah.
It's funny.
So then we went over to, and by the way, while we were in the vans going over to the church, and then from the church after we left there, we actually went over to Kent Hovind's house, and he wasn't there, but his wife was, and it's really freaking. Okay, so what they were doing is handing us all of these pamphlets while we're in these overloaded vans, and it was basically like saying, you must repent or you're going to burn in hell. Like, oh, you have
Okay,
to
that's
believe in
not-
Jesus.
Wow.
That's not
Okay.
real. That's not.
Well,
obviously.
those were the pamphlets they were giving me. and
I
everyone
know,
else.
of course. That's what they did.
And then when we got into the house, there was barely enough food. I guess they invited too many people. And every single cabinet, anything where you could look at a wall, there were Bible passages printed out and stuck up there and taped on to there was like 15 of them on the refrigerator and 12 on every single cabinet door.
They were
It
like
was-
those little. What do you call those little sticker things? Like sticker phrases. What the heck are those things called?
So that and then they sat us down, and as his wife at the time, they're divorced now, as she was finishing up prepping all of the dinner and everything, or sorry, the lunch, she put on it was a VHS, because back then it was like DVDs were still kind of new. Anyways, and she's like, "Oh yeah, so my husband, he was one up on stage, and she's like, here's another one of his sermons talking about evolution or something like that, which because he's hardcore. That's one of the things I can respect him on."
That's the thing that's what people got stuck on, is the fact that he's like, oh, anti-evolution, but he still thinks that we're freaking spinning on a globe.
Right. So at that point, we watched that for about 20 minutes, and then after that, we had a meal, and then they wanted to take us back to the church and do like a little something or other. And at that point, I flat out lied. And I said, I have to get back to base pretty soon. I didn't think this was going to take... Well, I was partially lying. I didn't have to get back to base. I just didn't think I was going to be gone for 5 hours. And I said, I have to stand post, stand watch, at the barracks. And I was like, either you take me back or I'm calling a cab. So they drove me back. It was like a 45-minute drive. And then from there... Okay, that was one of the things that got a sour taste. Well, many reasons why I don't follow Christianity. And the other one is that even though I've never been an atheist, I'll say that. I was agnostic for most of my life until I found out the earth wasn't spinning and rotating and wobbling and doing all that other nonsense. And that's when I realized...
You're agnostic. You're like, there's something out there, but I don't know exactly what it is, right?
Yep, correct.
Yeah, agnostic. Yeah, agnostic front, a good band.
Yeah, it's
old school band.
I love agnostic front. Yeah.
Yeah, right. But so look at what somebody just said here. FE Nation said all churches are corporations. Not all, but most.
But a lot of them are.
Yes, most. Like most, I would say.
I would say.
Right.
I would say most of the times when they when they are part of the C13.
Yes. Well, they become.
Because then they are bound by what they're allowed to preach and say and things. So
which makes them a corporation. Yes.
Yeah.
And that's why I believe a church, a real church, actually could be right now. This could be the most real church you've ever been involved in, Andrew, by the way, because honestly, I truly believe that Jesus Christ is my Lord and Savior. He's the Messiah. But it's funny because Keith believes that Jesus is actually God. I don't agree with him, but it doesn't really matter that much because they are equal, but like we're on the same page, and we're not trying to push it on you.
Do you stick with John 3:16?
Of course. For God so loved the earth that he gave his only begotten Son, that whosoever shall believe in him shall not perish, but have everlasting life in the eternal paradise kingdom that will happen when he comes back and makes everything right.
Yeah.
All right. So before I ask some of my questions, I'm just going to try to at least finalize and get you guys on board with my state of mind when it comes to this. Well, I moved out to Virginia because my girlfriend at the time, who I met when I was in the Navy, we had an off and on relationship and long distance relationships. I was like, you know what, screw it, I'm moving out to Virginia. And Virginia is part of the Bible Belt. Lots of Southern Baptist churches over there.
I'm right there right now.
Yeah. I lived in Spotsylvania.
I'm on the border. I'm in Sparta, North Carolina, right on the border where there's a church everywhere.
Oh,
everywhere.
Yeah, you can't throw a rock in any direction without hitting a church.
Yeah, and I love it though, by the way, because seriously, people are better around here. To be honest with you.
Oh, I would agree. Yeah, most people.
Like on average, I'm from Florida. I've been most places in America, and people are really like kids and stuff too. Kids are more well behaved. People are just more amazing, and that's just an observation. That's not
Right.
scientific observation. Anyway, go ahead.
I got you. Yeah. So when it came to going to church, yeah, there was a lot of really cool things that would happen at the church we were going to, and such as a lot of activities, like flag football for the kids, and basketball and archery, and lots of stuff for kids. And there was like bake sales all the time, and crafting lessons, blah blah blah. It's just a community-based type of thing. But then at one point, they asked me to go in and supervise the children as they were watching a movie, and
hmm
the movie was extraordinarily heavily biased.
Not Christian.
What's that?
Not Christian. Like not a Christian movie.
No. It was totally
Like a mainstream.
Yeah,
Oh, it was a Christian movie. Oh, it was.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
And they were,
Oh, it was
but
a Christian movie.
Well, yeah, but it was so confusing. I mean, some of these kids were
Mhm.
6 and 7 years old, and I don't think they were understanding what they were even. I mean, I didn't understand half of it. So,
Well, it's like, let me ask you a question. You ever heard of Left Behind? And it had the guy from, remember Left Behind, Keith?
I've seen
Yeah,
it.
Kirk Cameron.
Yeah, Kirk Cameron. Remember that one?
Yep.
Yeah, it makes you scared of like being left behind.
Well, yeah. There's the other ones on like the Rapture and like never.
Yeah,
Left Behind.
Rapture. Rapture is not in the Bible at all, by the way. Wait, Keith, do you believe in the rapture?
Yes, in Revelations it does talk about the taking away. And
No, it's not
but
in
I
Revelation.
don't. Yes, it is.
It's in, what do you call it?
He'll take the people. Alder Bear.
Oh, wait, so you believe in the rapture, Keith?
Yes, I just don't really care if it's pre, post, or after.
Oh, okay, I got you.
Yeah.
All right.
All right,
The
so-
thing is, because Thessalonians also describes the rapture, where one will be in the field.
Yeah,
and the other will take
Thessalonians,
away.
yeah.
Yeah.
In the clouds, yeah.
All right,
But
so
to
now that
me,
you
it
guys
doesn't
have
matter when it is. Okay, sorry, go ahead.
now that you guys kind of have an understanding as to like my background when it comes to religion, and my girlfriend, well, she grew up Southern Baptist, and she was like, there was no convincing her otherwise of anything else. So we were engaged, we were gonna get married and all that, but things fell apart. Anyways, my question is,
Yeah.
I've heard some people say this, people that I know have read the Bible very, very in depth. People I trust. And people I know in person, some people I've just heard online, and they say that Jesus Christ was not, December 25th is not the birthday of Christ. It was actually
No, definitely
September.
not.
It was
changed.
September
Gregorian
11th.
calendar,
Yeah, you know what's crazy? My
I don't know
dad's
how that
birthday
works.
is.
yeah.
Wait, is that
September
your birthday too? Yeah, we talked about this before, right? Your birthday's September 11th?
No, my birthday is January 6th.
Oh, I thought you said
That's
Based,
fine.
the based on September 11th is based if you take on the lunar calendar of the Jewish. That's when it comes to September 11th. But yeah,
my dad's birthday is September 11th.
Yeah, the Gregorian calendar is what changed it to December 25, which is also based on our old pagan festival, the Helios solstice. So
Well, the thing is, though, okay, so you have to understand. Remember how all the they were all coming to see the baby, and he was already born when, like, on so-called Christmas. You know what I mean? First of all, you have to think about that, right? He was not like being born right then. They came to see him, the Magi and everything,
Yeah.
right? But also, remember Rob Skiba did a whole thing about how the stars. He did a whole thing about that like years ago, like 10 years ago, about how the stars, the way they lined up, was more September in that area.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say. Like, I think the September 11th thing came from, like, obviously the September 11th thing, right? But it's more of like the area, like the time period. Because it's September, so November, December, January. I mean, he was like 2 months old. When they came to see him as a baby. So they're just, plus his Saturnalia, and it's not real. The whole, come on. It's not a real thing. Like the whole Christmas thing, it's just made up. Pagan. It's actually pagan. So
It's become a tradition. Tradition. That's all it is.
Well,
so
the other thing as well, when I've heard a lot of people also ask this. I asked a lot of Christians about it. Like, why do you wear a cross? Why do you have a cross tattooed on
do
your
you?
neck? No, I'm saying like other
You
people.
get a
you
lot
mean
of
other
people
people?
that- Yeah.
And
Oh, a
other
cross is.
Christians, I will
Go
ask
ahead.
that same question too, and they'll say absolutely not. I think it goes against the actual words of the Bible somewhere. I
I
don't
agree.
No,
I
you
actually
see, the
agree.
thing is, you can see it as an idol, but you can also see
Hmm.
it as a declaration to show you are in the faith. I
You can
think,
take it that way.
yeah. I think I think at the end of the day, it goes about your intent of why you're wearing it.
Yes.
This is like, for instance, Catholicism when they got the rosary. Um, they don't understand that is at the end of the day they made them the idol, because they are using the rosary for worship.
They're praying to like Madonna, Mary, and doing that whole thing.
Yeah, they pray. They
Catholicism.
pray to all their saints and mediators.
Yeah,
And the
the
Bible,
saints. That's not. No, it's not in there.
the Bible's
But
very specific. There's only one mediator, and that's Jesus.
but Andrew, honestly, bro, I used to wear a cross, right? And then I got a cross from like this homeless guy. Or not, he wasn't homeless, but he was kind of homeless, and he made crosses, right? And and then when I became like kind of I was like anti idols, you know. I like threw it away, and I kind of feel bad about throwing it away, but I also feel like I was doing the right thing for throwing away a actual. It's freaking weird, but like I was going through this whole thing of like no false idols and no like because I was going through that, what do you call them, Hebrew roots. Remember Hebrew
Ah,
roots? Yeah, you remember that.
yes,
Like
people go through that
law.
for some odd reason. I don't know why people get sucked into Hebrew roots for some reason.
Well, I didn't get sucked into it, but like I saw what they meant. But like honestly, like yeah, it's a thing, man. This is part of like just like the the fall or the what do you call it, short season, the short
Same thing.
season thing, same kind of thing where they're over, what do you call it, over hyper analyzing,
Hyperlizing. Yeah,
hyper spiritualizing.
they're going too deep into it, kind of thing. Yeah, this is why I call it cult-like, because they kind of take on such a basis that anybody who disagrees with them is not Christian.
Well, it's algorithms and AI and everything we have that we're dealing with now, because we wouldn't be doing this back in the day when there was newspapers, or we would, but we wouldn't be, because we wouldn't be getting newspapers on the farm, and I'm in the middle of nowhere, dude. I wouldn't be getting any of this from nothing except for the internet, or some like people down the road in the little tiny town I live in, like
Yeah.
through the grapevine, or someone else talking, my wife or something, like, hey, have you heard about this? Like, no, I haven't heard about that.
All right, I have
Hey
another
guys,
question.
Yeah. Go
Go
ahead,
ahead.
Andrew.
I'm sorry. Who was just coming in? Was that Elder
I was
Bear?
coming in, Roger. Yeah, I was
Oh,
going
go
to add
ahead. I
to
was talking for a long time, so go for it.
the name of the pagan holiday you guys are looking for is called Samhain. It happens before fall. I think that's
That's
the
before Halloween, isn't it?
yeah, but that's the that's the not the this equinox. That's what they
Oh,
celebrate
okay.
that day in September.
Okay. I didn't actually know that.
Oh, you're saying September 11th. You're saying that. Okay, that
You get-
part. Right before Halloween, whatever. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Sam
Andrew.
Hain.
Okay, so my other question is, obviously the Pope allegedly died, and now we have a new Pope, and it's the cardinals that elect this new Pope.
Yep.
And apparently, I mean, I don't know enough about Catholicism, so I'm going to ask: is it true that they elect the Pope as a direct, like
Conduit.
Mediator.
Conduit.
direct line
Yep.
to God,
Conduit.
Yes.
Yeah.
a conduit. There
That's
you
what
go.
they say. That's what they say.
That's why Catholicism isn't Christian based. It falls under Christian. How can I
It's
say?
not biblical. It's not
But
biblical.
it's
It's not.
pagan. It's
No,
pagan.
it's not. Yeah, it's definitely not. Okay, I don't want to say not good, but I want to say, in my opinion, not according
The
to the
pro-
Bible.
yeah, it's
It's
not
not.
according to the Bible.
It's not according to the Bible at all.
The problem with Catholicism has got a lot of satanic links to it. Um, that's why the Jesuits are based on Catholicism. It's the whole Catholic Church actually came from the Roman Empire. So they've taken all their pagan beliefs from having their different gods and things, and they've kind of intermingled it into Christianity.
Yeah, like they've done to a lot of things. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, Andrew, like honestly, bro, I was just asking, like I'm not judging you at all because Jesus told me not to judge anyone. Like he's the judge. I'm not the judge. You know what I mean? It's up for you to figure it out. I was just asking you because I've talked to you before and I think you're a good dude. Like I think you're smart, you're cool, whatever. I was just asking, I'm just curious, you know?
Yeah, I'm not offended by it. It's almost impossible, if not just flat out impossible, to offend me. So there's pretty much nothing you can say to me that's gonna, you know.
But I definitely don't think Catholicism is Christianity because it doesn't follow what the Bible really says.
No,
It's like Mormonism.
Catholicism is definitely not Christianity.
Yeah, it's like Mormonism and Seventh Day Adventists and stuff. They use the Bible, but they don't follow what the Bible says. They have their own kind of doctrine, which is not
Well,
biblical.
yeah, like Andrew just said, Mormon. Like, wow, dude, you started Mormon, dude. That's crazy.
Well,
Where were you living then? Where were you? Where was that at? In a Mormon town or something?
No, Fremont, California.
Well, okay, like a Mormon part of California, or did it like your parents were just Mormon types?
I guess. Well, the story that I can recall is they had missionaries come by and knock on the door, and hey, can
Really?
we come on in? And then all of a sudden, yeah, they would.
Oh, they
come by.
converted. They converted to Mormonism.
Yeah, well, they came by and they're like, oh, they're so nice, and then they finally, after like however many times they came by and did like a Bible reading or a Book of Mormon reading, I don't know what it was. They would,
Yeah.
we
It's
started
interesting.
going to the Mormon church, and
Yeah, they must have
they were, oh,
converted
they're
them.
such nice people. And then, but the other thing I started seeing is what they would have these young teenagers go up on stage at the podium and
hmm
start reading these stories that were obviously completely fictional.
They were
And
from
they
what's
would
his
have-
name? What
they
was his
cried.
name? John
Joseph
Smith,
Smith.
right? John Smith.
Joseph.
Yeah. Oh, Joseph. My
Joseph.
bad. Joseph. Yeah.
Yeah, so that, and I didn't like all the singing and all that kind of stuff. Like if, and my opinion was like, if you're going to believe in God and Jesus and all that stuff, you don't have to go to a church where they're going to be doing acting in front of you. So
No, you don't have to. Like the Bible says specifically that the church is us. It's everyone. Like the church is not a building. The church is not a giant structure. Anyway, anymore. Let's talk about this Noah's Ark thing. I'm curious to see what. Yeah, let's see this Noah's Ark thing.
Just let Andrew get all these things out because this was specifically
Oh.
put up for Andrew.
I
The
like it.
stream.
Dude. I love this. I mean, Andrew seems like he's. No, I know Andrew believes he will. When you stand in front of God, I think you'll say, "Yes, I truly believe in you." I don't think you're a bad guy or anything.
yeah, just waiting for that day or someone to prove it to me or a sign to come to me. But so
Yeah,
far,
because
in
you're
my
very
life,
scientific. You're very
yeah,
scientific.
oh, yeah, yeah, it's my.
You're an electrician, dude. You're all into.
Yeah, I almost have my engineering degree, but I have a degree in electronics. So I'm a scientist, if you want to call it that. So I'm very
Pretty much,
analytical
yeah.
and technical. So when it comes to, if someone's going to say, here's this book, this is the only way. And I don't even know what book it is. Maybe it is the Bible. How could I prove that stuff? Like it could be the Quran, it could be the Talmud, it could be the Quran, it could be all these different books, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the Book of Scientology, even. Like, oh, here's the right way. And
Well,
here's not that version of the Bible. This version is the best one.
yeah.
I have a coworker
Well,
that keeps doing that to me.
Dude, you know what's funny? All right, go ahead, Keith.
but like we were showing before you came on, you might have to watch the beginning of the stream, where I showed 9 archaeological discoveries that literally fit in with scripture, how it explains exactly where it is and what has happened. So that alone really shows the history of the Bible to be true. And that's how we got on Noah's Ark now, because this is very recent. I mean, this was May 13th.
So really quick though, I'm going to say something. So, Andrew, so I went to, I failed out of FSU, Florida State University, right? And then I went to a little JC, a junior college, right? And then I took world religions, right? And I was like, okay, world religions, I'll learn like the way you learn, right? You learn about world religions. And I said, well, what about Jesus? And they were like, no, we don't talk about that. I was like, well, I mean, I have questions about like the Holy Bible. And they're like, well, we don't have time. We have to move on. And I found that to be very, very suspect. Like 1997 1997. They just did not want to talk about the Bible. They want to talk about, Zoroastrianism and all the other. I mean, all the other ones. Like, what are there?
That's what they want you to believe, though. That's what they want people to believe. It's from Zoroastrianism, but it's not. If you look at the history, it's.
But I found it so funny that I couldn't even ask my teacher to elaborate on Christianity. Like, it was like, no, we're gonna move on. It was really weird.
The question I have in regards to this is, actually, I have several, but I'm not going to beat a dead horse, essentially, as the saying goes. I've heard from some people that were saying that the original. I did hear you guys were talking about earlier in regards to Jerusalem and its original location, and some people say that it was actually in Florida.
Yeah, dude. Yeah.
Have you guys heard that?
Doctor, what's his name? I'm from that. I'm from Indian Rocks Beach, dude.
Yeah, Dr. Narcolongo.
Yep, I know all about this.
And a lot of Jews actually believe the same thing, and that's why a lot of them moved there.
Well, yeah.
Florida has a massive Jewish population.
It's so funny. My band was telling me, like, the Jews are coming to where I live now. I'm like, no. The Jews came to where I used to live in Florida. Because, but the thing is, though, dude, so what do you call that? The gopher wood, the Noah's Ark, by the way. No, by the way, do you know this? No, you've heard this probably if you watched what's his name, Longo. Gopher wood came from Florida.
Yes.
Can only the tree.
The only place it exists.
Yes.
Yeah, dude. I heard this.
By the way, I have done a vast amount of research on my own in regards to biblical cosmology and things like that. I've done a total of 3 live stream trivias all about this information. So I'm not naive to the Bible and things like that. It's just I haven't felt it in my heart yet. I haven't discovered it.
Oh, yeah, but bro, one day you might, dude. And
I'm open to it.
And that's the thing, dude.
Yeah, just say hi, Adam. Good to see you, man.
Hello, mate. I'm just rushing to church. Listen, what would you need to see? What is it that would take you to go, okay, what would it need? Make it as hard as possible so there's no... What would it take for you to trust that is from God?
That's a great question that a lot of people have asked me, and the most honest answer I can give would be a serious sign of God.
Okay.
From God.
From God.
Yeah. So,
okay, so just to help
you
with that,
from God. Yeah. See, he wants it from specifically from God.
I can help you with the answer from the Bible. The Bible says to the Jews, you wicked people, I've forgotten the word verbatim, it says you wicked people, always wanting a sign. The only sign that should be given to you is the sign of Jonah. And the sign of Jonah was Jesus' crucifixion. Jonah was in the whale, he died, he was taken down for 3 days in the belly of the whale to the bottom of the earth, and then he came up again and was made alive again. So you wicked generation, he said to the Jews, always wanting a sign. The sign of the Bible And luckily enough, I got a sign, but my sign was from the other side. So I know that there's evil. So I can't help you understand that there is the supernatural. I've experienced it. That's how I knew that there was a God. I can't create a sign for you. And God warns against that. The Bible actually says, blessed are those who believe but have not seen. I never pray to see Jesus because it takes more faith. I believe in Jesus because I just know him. I test the Bible to such a level. I gave up and knew the Bible was real. Then I met Jesus inside the Bible. And I can't deny it if someone put a gun to my head. But so we can't produce that. If we could, we'd be God. We can't. We're not miracle makers.
I'm not an atheist. Okay, I have to
No,
reiterate that
you're
again.
agnostic. Okay, so
No,
cool.
no.
So
No, I'm not agnostic. I
agnostic means you
know
don't know which God there is. You know there's a God.
the creation is absolute.
Yeah. Creation testifies of a
We
creator.
were
Okay, so
created
we've
with
got there.
intelligent design, with purpose, and that the universe is not what we're told it is. There's a bunch of
Yeah,
liars out there that
yeah.
worship.
Yeah.
I don't even
Flat
believe in
earth with
Satan.
them.
Put it that way.
Yeah,
I don't
yeah.
believe in Satan.
Right. Okay. Well, that's an easy one to do. But you went to Flats, and you said he said look, there's I've shown 8 archaeological discoveries. For me to prove the Bible was real, that the building block was archaeology. There's 50,000 archaeological digs in 30,000 areas. I don't think people are aware of just how precise the Bible is as a map when used as a map. That's why we have maps inside some of them. It is literally a map of the world at the time of the
Yeah,
place. The things
like
were
when
things
I
that-
was trying to, when I was talking to that guy last night about just where the Euphrates River is, Mount of
Yeah.
Olives, and you only need scripture to show where it is.
Yeah,
Um,
it's so accurate, it's untrue. Now
mhm.
another thing is the Bible displays properties of that it can't be written by man. They're showing God. No other book does that. So
Okay.
that's what's unique about the Bible. It has 64,000 cross references in it. Um,
Mhm.
so I mean that's a great. If you could go to that picture as well, I think this would really help him out. Just go to
Cross
the
references.
64,000 cross references. It's in a rainbow picture.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So this will
So
I
really,
actually have a short of that on that I use.
yeah. So this will show you that this is not man, and you can test it. A picture's a picture. I
okay.
don't want you to just trust a picture. That's not how you do good
And by the way, I
research.
have read the Bible. I'm just letting you guys
Yeah,
know
yeah,
that.
yeah. But reading the Bible and understanding it's from God are two different things. The Bible says that the Holy Scripture is the teacher and it will lead you to all truth. You can have Catholics read it all their life. If they're not born again, they're going to go down some right rabbit holes. What God promises is that He will teach you and bring you out of error slowly. Yeah? But once you're saved, you're saved. It doesn't. But secondary issues, if someone doesn't believe the earth is flat, great, congratulations, have a biscuit. It doesn't matter. There's so many, nothing really matters in the Bible apart from the gospel. And the gospel is faith alone in Christ alone. If you believe that Jesus was God and died on the cross for your sins, past, present, and future, by the shedding of his blood, was buried and rose again on the third day, guess what, mate? You go into heaven whether you like it or not.
Well, that's that's sort of like you're going to win the lottery whether you like it or not.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
okay.
Hmm.
So
You
this
see,
is a book I've been
who's
reading
taking you?
Oh,
lately.
what book's that? Let's see if I can get it up.
Who's taking you?
Gates of What? Gate
It's
is.
the Bhagavad
Bhagavad.
Gita.
Yeah, that contradicts itself all over.
There we go.
I'm
This,
well.
yeah.
I'm starting to read it. My buddy gave that to me. He is Punjabi.
So what I'd say to you is that I went through the same format to go through to find the Bible was true. So I really think that what you're doing is genuine and respect it because you're looking for the truth, and you will find that the Bible's true. So all I'd ask you to do is set a criterion of how we identify truth. Can I feel it? Can I touch it? Does it match up? Am I testing the authentic thing? You know, all these things, and then when you apply it to the Bhagavad Gita is a really nice story. It
Well, the interesting thing about the Bhagavad Gita is if I were to open up a random page in the Bible and start reading a passage and then do the exact same thing with the Bhagavad Gita or the Quran, which, these are both translated into English.
Yeah.
I don't know where my Quran is at the moment. I may have lost it.
Mine's on the floor.
If I were to read
Yeah,
and ask you what book did that come from, nobody would know.
Okay,
Nobody
so
would
if
get it.
the problem when it comes to like the Quran and things, it's based on an illiterate 7th century caravan robber that thought he understood about Christianity by hearing about different pagan beliefs. So there's no consistency when it comes to Islam at all. So you can literally throw it away just by reading the Quran itself.
No, watch this one. Just get the same story from the Quran. This is how I do this, and this is how I debate Muslims. I get the same prophets. We share the same prophets. And then you read their story, and then you read our story. Okay, so Noah, you got Noah's Ark. They said it landed on Mount Udi, a different mountain. It's a real mountain. It's about 1,000 miles away. We said it landed on the mountains of Ararat.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we found it, and they haven't. Sodom and Gomorrah, every single thing that they say of their story is different, so the evidence would be different, and then we show you the evidence, and they go, and they change the subject.
Mm-hmm.
So this is literally the Quran's done in about half an hour. I spent 4 hours on the Quran when I compared Moses, Noah, and Lot, and I've done all the others. I've done most of them. I won't say I've done all the others.
All right. So the other issue that I have with biblical type of stuff is Noah's Ark, and I think a lot of other atheists who I've spoken with, they're like, explain to me Noah's Ark. I'm like, I don't know. It's the story I've heard of, but the logistics behind it they just seem absolutely impossible.
So the
Such
population.
as, how did we get kangaroos from Australia, the only native area where those exist, all the way over to Mount Ararat, which is around the area of Turkey, Syria, and Iran?
Yeah, perfect, mate. So when you have all the trees, you have mats of trees, coal seams that can run for miles, absolute miles, where all the trees, and animals just went on them. They're like islands, basically. They're like huge islands that rotted away. You have coal all over the earth. They're literally wood, fossilized wood. So the earth didn't look like it did from the top. When it started, the waters receded. So when they got out of it, you have moving islands, all sorts of stuff happening. That's really it, and it's they should give after their own kind. So that's not a problem.
It still seems like a major problem since it was made out of gopher wood, which only is native in Florida, but yet Mount Ararat is over in the Middle East.
But why do you not think that they might have just the gopher wood might have just died out where it was, or a population that lived for 1,000 years had imported gopher wood?
That's what it says in the Bible.
Well, no, but it doesn't make it. It doesn't make it impossible for them to get gopher wood from Florida. Or what I think is more likely is gopher wood was around at their area, and
it could just be an extinct species of trees now. That's all.
Yeah, there's extinct species of trees in that area. Or do you have steel in where you live?
Yeah, I live in Silicon Valley. Yeah.
Okay, cool. So if you don't produce iron ore or one of the properties, people just import it from all over the world. They were incredibly advanced civilization. They lived for 1,000 years. They're more intelligent than us, the actual people. So they just have a trade system. They either buy it or gopher wood was growing up at the field opposite the road from them. And when the flood came, it killed all the gopher wood that was there.
Okay.
So that's not just not difficult. However they got it because I trust the Bible. But you can think of very easy explanations. But if you looked in depth at Noah's Ark, I think I use it all the time. I think it's one of the wildest things, and it's also in every single tribe. The story of Noah, but it's just in a different language. We all share two stories. We all share. Sorry, let me shut this door. We all share.
Because-
The Tower of Babel, because we're all together, and we all share Noah's Ark. So we share two stories. Every tribe has those two stories in its history. Every single tribe, because we were all there.
And when we get the people like the atheists claiming like, oh, Noah's Ark can't be real because of two of every kind. Yeah, you see, now they're taking every species and they keep taking, like, let's say dogs, Chihuahua and Labrador, and no, that's
Yeah.
not. God said
Not right.
every kind, so it was literally just two. It could be two puppies.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It could
Yeah.
be two, and then it goes, and that's what happens with through time. I mean, it's had 4,000 years to be able to
Yeah.
repopulate in different speciations.
Yeah.
So
People in their own house will make their own breed, and then they'll be recognised as a breed a few years later by just
yeah,
breeding dogs.
exactly.
So it's
Okay,
just
so
they give
the
after
flood
their own
happened 40
species.
days and 40 nights.
Yeah.
And yeah, that would have to be basically a hurricane all across the world.
Well,
That-
you see, the Bible describes it as the bottomless, the bottom opening up. So, how the Bible describes, because you've looked at biblical cosmology, the firmament opened and there was waters above the firmament that fell in,
Yeah.
and the ground opened up, so there's waters underneath
Yeah.
that also flooded up. This is why it fits perfectly with a flat Earth, and we have evidence for this today. If you look at the so-called meteor craters. They're not meteor craters. Those are geysers from the opening up of the deep,
Yeah.
and there's always water below every single one of them.
Hey guys, can I add one thing right quick? I was just gonna say,
I've got to
pre-flood
go to church,
geography
guys.
was
Goodbye.
Shotman Adam,
Uh,
good to see you, mate.
later. Adam.
Blessings.
Pre-flood, the Earth was completely different. The geography was laid out, and God didn't like spread everything across the world when He made like animals, plants, and stuff like that. So it was like easier to access, you might say, right?
Yeah.
The flood changed everything. The basins open up. It caused fissures, big fountains coming from the deep. Man.
Well, you can even look at through history of different countries, even here in South Africa. In the 1800s, parts of Cape Town were totally underwater that isn't underwater today. You know what I mean? It was like, looked totally different.
Go to the Mediterranean. Look at all the civilizations under the water, man. There's like
Yeah. I mean,
towns and-
Italy as well. I mean, look at Venice. They're busy sinking like a centimeter every year. There's a lot of Italy that is underwater now that used to exist above water. You know what I mean? So the land does keep changing. Do you guys want to go on to look at this Noah's Ark full discovery thing?
yeah.
Sure. Because this is what Scott told me to look up.
Did
Sweet.
not
And
expect
if
to
you
be
guys want to hear
covering
some of the
this
trivia
story.
questions, biblical
Okay.
trivia questions later on, I'll go ahead and go over those with you guys. I think they're interesting.
Awesome.
I have a lot.
But recent claims from a research team utilizing ground-penetrating radar over at Turkey's Durum site have reignited centuries-old questions about Noah's Ark. The discovery of subsurface structures and distinctive soil composition has led some researchers to suggest they found compelling evidence for the biblical vessel's final resting place. The Durum site lies in eastern Turkey, approximately 18 miles south of Mount Ararat, and consists of a boat-shaped geological formation measuring 538 feet in length. Made primarily of limonite and iron ore, the formation is situated in the Agri province near the Iranian border at an elevation between 1,966 to 2,004 meters above sea level. The site's distinctive boat-like shape first caught attention after being partially exposed by earthquake and heavy rainfall in 1948, before being formally identified by Turkish Army Captain İlhan Durumpınar during a NATO mapping mission in 1959.
Yeah, look how different that looks. 2019 compared to 1961. Same site. Look how different it looks. So it has been kind of caving in, you could say.
Yeah, it probably
That's quite
rotted
cool.
over time, didn't it?
Yeah.
Formation's physical dimensions have sparked particular interest among biblical researchers as they closely align with the measurements described in Genesis 6:15 for Noah's Ark. The ark is to be 300 cubits long, 50 cubits wide, and 30 cubits high. When converted to modern measurements, these biblical specifications translate to approximately 450 feet long, 75 feet wide, and 45 feet high.
Average.
Capacitor course check is okay.
That looks so real.
Making the
That thing that advert you just saw pops up to me every single day. It's like, this is the best ever. It's like, okay, thank you. Trying to push space on me constantly.
I get it. I know why.
So, are you calling BS to this, or is this something that you would consider somewhat legitimate?
I haven't watched enough on this, but I do think, seeing the evidence I've seen, I do think it's more plausible that that is Noah's Ark, yes. This is just the latest evidence they're trying to present now based on
Gotcha.
radar. Yeah, radar waves.
Durim formation of 538 feet in length, relatively close to the biblical account. The location also holds geographical significance given its proximity to Mount Ararat, which Genesis 8:4 identifies as where the ark came to rest. Interest in the Durim site as a potential ark candidate began after its exposure in 1948, but gained international attention in 1960 when Life magazine published a story featuring aerial photographs captioned with Noah's Ark. Though initial investigators found the boat-like appearance to be superficial, the site continued to attract attention from various researchers and explorers over subsequent decades. The most notable proponent was Ron Wyatt, an amateur archaeologist who extensively promoted the site.
Yeah, do you know who Ron Wyatt is, Andrew? Ever heard of him before? I think he was a Seventh-day Adventist or a Jehovah's Witness, I'm not sure. But he's made quite a few discoveries. He's even found Sodom and Gomorrah, and he's managed to find the chariots in the Red Sea. So he's made some great discoveries, this guy.
Yeah, it's changing the outlook for Christianity in archaeology, basically.
Yeah.
During the 1980s and 1990s, claiming it contains significant amounts of gopher wood, the biblical material used to construct the ark. Along with metal rivets and other structural components, Wyatt's claims, though never validated through peer-reviewed research, nevertheless established the Durim formation as a fixture in discussions about potential physical evidence for Noah's Ark. The latest chapter in the Durim site's controversial history comes from Andrew Jones and his research collective Noah's Ark Scans. They have conducted new investigations since 2021.
Right, so that's a scan, the LiDAR scan. But it shows, though, that it's not a how can I say, natural thing. It's a man-made thing, whatever that is. But it does fit the dimensions as described in the Bible for Noah's Ark.
You can clearly see a boat-like shape almost.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yep. And I mean, what's a ship doing in the middle of the Ararat Mountains? You know what I mean? There's no sea close by. Why would someone build a ship in the mountain? You know what I
They were
mean?
going to put it down to the sea millions of kilometers away, 1,000 kilometers away. That's just the easy way to doing it, right? Yeah.
Yep.
Hey, I got to go AFK for a little bit. I'm going to stay here, but I'm going to be on mute, and I have to get into my car, so I won't be able to talk, but I will be able to listen.
Yeah, and I think we can. I'm going to finish this video, and then we reschedule for another one again, maybe next weekend. Andrew, how's that?
Yeah, sounds good. Yeah.
Cool. Because we have been going on for 2 hours already, anyway. So.
Yep.
Okay, short man. Cheers. Appreciate you coming on.
All right. I'm going to just listen in the background then.
Okay,
Cheers.
cool, man. Cheers.
Later, Andrew.
Jones describes the organization as a loose coalition of individuals dedicated to advancing scientific inquiries and advocating for the Ark's site, combining both scientific research methods and biblical interest in the formation. In recent announcements shared with the Christian Broadcasting Network and other media outlets, Jones presented what he categorized as groundbreaking findings from the ground-penetrating radar surveys conducted at the site. The team's most significant claims include the detection of a 13-foot tunnel traversing the center of the formation, the identification of 3 distinct subterranean layers corresponding to the biblical description of the Ark's 3 decks, discovery of what appears to be central and side corridors or hallways running through the proposed boat.
That's interesting, yeah. I mean, that without a doubt tells me that it's a man-made.
No doubt about it.
I just don't understand why they haven't attempted to try dig into there, though. You know what I mean? Like, try and cut a passageway in to see if you actually get there. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know what you're
Because
saying.
they're finding hallways and stuff in there, so there is hollowed out places that they should be able to go into.
I think the Chinese, there's a Chinese organization that wanted to do that, and something, I don't know what stopped them. It had to be some government agency or somebody that stopped them from actually digging into the site. I
Yeah.
remember hearing about it a while back, and never heard anything else come of it. It's strange that they don't. It really is.
Yeah.
And angular structures that are located approximately 20 feet below the surface that could potentially represent living quarters beneath a deck-like structure. Jones argues that these findings are inconsistent with natural geological formations, stating that this is not what you would expect to see if the site was simply a solid block of rock or the result of random mudflow debris. Instead, he suggests these features align with what one would expect to find in the remains of a man-made vessel matching biblical specifications. Beyond the radar imaging,
If heartburn hits, have a Brini ready. What if you could have a professional video presenter without the hassle or cost? Introducing
ads.
me,
Jones and his team have placed significant emphasis on soil composition differences between samples taken from inside and outside the formation. Analysis of 22 soil samples reportedly revealed...
And you know what I love about this Noah's Ark thing? It does also show fossilization of wood and things. So
Yeah, they sampled it with the gopher wood, right? They
yeah.
determined that.
So when they get the fossilized wood and stuff, they are able to see, for instance, like when they claim dinosaurs were fossilized because of a meteor strike. No, it's just simply time. That's all it was. Because there was a great flood and there was pressure due to all the mud and water, and they were buried, and that sudden compression that sealed them in there, and through time it fossilized the bones and remains of things, and that's exactly that. It's got nothing to do with some great meteor that they really wanted to happen.
In that case, then we should have tons of dinosaur fossils due to a flood, wouldn't we?
And the fact is, they still need to take parts from everywhere and build what they call a dinosaur.
They do that
You
a
would-
lot. I mean, most of those
Yeah,
have been
you-
falsified, haven't they?
You never get a complete fossil, a complete skeleton. Have you noticed that?
Yeah, I do. We got one we're sitting on up here in Denver at the scientific historical museum. It's named Sue, and it's the one that they tore apart, and they found that it had like ligaments and tendons inside of the plaster that they were pulling apart after they put an acid solution on it. And Denver's they haven't really made any kind of it's a legal fight now. They're throwing a fuss because they want to sue the Denver museum here for millions for falsifying that bit.
That's the thing that they do. But my question was like, let's say you go and dig up a body now, okay? That body, you can have all the bones there. It's a complete body, okay?
I'm with
Now,
you.
what you're claiming with dinosaurs and things, they never have a complete body. They're always scattered around everywhere.
That would
Why?
make sense though, like if they were fossilized in the same spot at that time like that.
Exactly.
You
That's
find
why I said the dinosaurs in itself is made up. They've taken the bones from different areas and they build what they call a dinosaur.
remember the
I mean,
paleontologist.
you can take a chicken. You can take a decomposed chicken and you can make a mini dinosaur out of the bones by just laying it in certain like puzzle pieces, like a jigsaw.
Yeah, it'd be easy to do. But remember the paleontologist that got into a beef with Eric Dubé on Rogan's
Mhm.
show?
Yeah.
You know what he finds mostly? Whale bones, dude. That's what he's eating. He was down in the Los
And that's
Angeles
why
Basin.
whale bones also debunks evolution.
Yeah.
The whale's bones, the jaw specifically, debunks evolution.
Yeah. Where did it come from? Like, where did it evolve from?
Why did it never evolve? It's just, they're
Yeah.
everywhere.
It just evolution.
Revealed that material from within the formation had lower pH levels compared to surrounding soil, twice the organic matter content, and 40% higher potassium concentration. William Crabtree, a soil scientist working with
Hey, back again, Scott.
This
He's got-
this part's interesting, dude.
It's
Potassium,
good.
the potassium concentration, like from the wood. All right, go ahead.
Yeah, but you see what's awesome about this though? How,
A lot of
there's
a
just
lot of
so
it's
much
awesome
evidence.
about this. Yeah, it's cool, dude. I mean, honestly, like I think it. I mean, I'm not going crazy about it because, like, they're always having some kind of, what do you call that? Like a skew. They want to skew things. Like, oh, there's no way. Like, people in the chat are saying, oh yeah, right, it's impossible. Whatever. But like, I do like the fact that at least it seems like the mainstream is kind of looking at. Because let me tell you, my wife is not, religious at all, right? And I told her about this, and she goes, "Of course." I was like, "What do you mean?" She's like, "Well, it's not that surprising." I'm like, "Really?" And she's like, "Yeah, Noah's Ark probably was real."
Yeah, it makes
You
people
know,
think.
like she's not even religious. Like she doesn't even believe in God, really. I mean, she kind of does, but she's on the fence. I think. It's just
But yeah,
interesting to see that the mainstream people are like kind of. It's like the moon landing. People are like, "Oh, of course, yeah, it's probably faked." But what does it
mhm.
matter? That's what they always say. What does it matter?
Yeah.
ARC scans interpreted these differences as consistent with rotting wood, explaining that potassium levels, organic matter, and pH can all be influenced by decaying organic material. The team further noticed that vegetation growing within the formation displayed different coloration compared to plants immediately outside of it, which they suggest could indicate underlying compositional differences supporting human origin. Additional evidence cited by the research team included marine deposits and seafood remnants dated to between 3,500 and 5,000 years ago.
Totally
See,
corroborating the story. Yeah.
see what I was saying? Like when someone said, "What do they eat?" Oh, they ate fish.
Yeah, the fish are still
Because
in the ocean, guys.
yes, that's what I was trying to say.
The fish didn't all crawl out of the sea and become what, birds or any other species I can
well,
think of.
well,
I
I
don't
well,
know.
mean,
guys, do you know that like even Gilgamesh and all that, like there's all kinds of different stories of a flood. Like a flood is not even that hard to even like fathom. Like you
mhm.
guys know this. Like there was some kind of flood, right?
The globers have an issue with the worldwide flood, though, because there's only so much water on Earth. Where do they
Oh,
get
they're
the,
like,
Where do they get
okay,
that water needed to flood the Earth?
well, it came from the top and the bottom. My mom always says this. She's like, remember, Scott? It came from the bottom too. I'm like, I know, Mom. It came from the deeps and from the above.
Yeah, but the problem is the globe doesn't have this on the bottom. They have
It's, there's no bottom and there's no top.
exactly. They don't
Everything's
have.
the
No
top and
container.
the bottom.
Yeah.
There's no container to hold all this.
I know
It's
it's hard
physically
for me to
impossible.
think. It's hard for me to think about the Glover side. It really is. No, it's been so long. I'm like, I forget. Like, how do you think that way?
Yeah.
You live in the real world, Scott. That's why it's hard to
I
think that way.
know. I'm just saying. I always forget. Like, thinking that way. It's
Yeah.
weird.
which they
Anyway, it's
interpret
interesting
as
though, right?
indicating the area was once underwater during a
And you
period
caught a
roughly
good one. This is a
corresponding
good.
with biblical
That's a
It's probably
good breakdown.
Is this AI? Is this a real person?
No, it's a real person.
Okay,
Who's this?
because I mean, it sounds like AI.
Project Unity.
Cool. He's just doing. Okay, yeah. Because I didn't see this one,
Yeah, he's
but
actually
it's
doing a
going.
very
It's going to get better. I think. I think it gets better because it shows you how it's 3 stories and all that. Well, you already heard that, but like it gets even chambers and whatever. It's fine.
Yeah.
Roll it.
blood chronologies. Professor Farouk Kaya, identified as a lead researcher, noted that our studies show that this region harbored life in that period and that at some point it was covered by water, which reinforces the possibility that a catastrophic event of great magnitude occurred. Central to the Noah's Ark scan team's claims is their use of ground-penetrating radar, a geophysical method that uses radar pulses to create images of subsurface structures. This technology can detect various subsurface elements, including objects, changes in material properties, voids, and cracks under appropriate conditions. Andrew Jones describes their use of GPR as a
remember I was
non-invasive peak.
talking about LiDAR too? Like, Roger,
Yeah.
you know what LiDAR is, right?
I'm well aware of it. Yes.
Oh, I thought you were. Oh, you were just
I
joking.
was joking, dude. I was.
Okay, sorry, my bad, my bad. No, because I was like, wait, Roger knows. Okay, sorry.
Yeah. We spoke about LiDAR now before. LiDAR
I
is
mean,
also
dude, it's
a lot of
old.
surveyors
It's like,
use LiDAR today to show the Earth's flat.
I mean, yeah. Well, they've been showing a lot of things
Uh-huh.
for a long time too. Like, people think it's new, but like,
It's
they
been a
just
while.
came out with this. That's the thing too. Like, they just came. I mean, look at that right there. That's obviously. This is just they're trying to make us. What do you call it? Slow down and like I call it the molasses, right? The molasses is like you're slowing everyone down so that you don't figure things out, right? And so like 10 years later, we're talking about the same thing. Like, what do you mean? We saw this 10 years ago, but it's new. I'm like, and then that creates a world of like questioning everything. Like, why is this new? Like, it's old, but nobody even realizes it anyway.
Yeah.
It's weird.
It's very
Like
weird.
maybe cement will eventually happen.
Into the past, with initial scans revealing rectangular shapes approximately 22 feet below the surface. The team has also mentioned plans to employ electrical resistivity tomography, ERT, which uses electrical current to measure resistivity patterns underground as a complementary method. It's worth noting that the methods proposed on the Khafra Pyramid project on the Giza Plateau by Filippo Bionde would be useful in deployment on sites like this because ground-penetrating radar alone will likely not be able to yield the kind of result.
Look, exactly like the pyramid thing. Remember the pyramid?
That's the same kind of it.
So how are they going? What do you call that? Optographic? What do you call it? Roger, what's it called when it's orthographic?
Orthographic.
There you go. You nailed it.
Yeah, orthographic. Yeah, orthographic. How are they getting the orthographic?
Nobody ever views anything from an orthographic view, dude. Ever.
Yeah, that's kind of strange to me. I just thought about that. I'm like,
Well, I think they just map it out.
topographic.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I think they just map it out orthographic, but you can't see it orthographic.
It's computer generated, of course.
Yeah. You can't see it orthographically either.
Well, my point though is about this is not like people will say that's CGI, Flatzoid, right? It's CGI. Listen, guys, this is just my point is why is the mainstream, the Washington Post, right? That's the first one I saw. Why is the Washington Post talking about Noah's Ark? That's all I'm saying. You know what I mean? I'm just questioning why are they making it mainstream?
Yeah.
Well, most people actually think Noah's Ark was a real thing. A lot of people do. So, I mean, a lot of the mainstream people actually latch on to it.
I do believe these things have to be revealed before Jesus comes back.
Well, that's kind of what I'm going at here. See, where things they'll be revealed, and then it's up to you to like to figure it out and say, you believe or you don't believe,
Yeah,
and then
exactly.
you fall for tricks or you don't fall for tricks.
Mm-hmm.
It's like the revelation of method is actually what it's called. Revelation of method. Well, not this scenario because it's actually, if it's true, then it's from God, right? But
Uh-huh.
revelation of method is how they reveal how they do their tricks, because it's up to you to figure things out. And I think that's how God works too. Like God's like Roger. I don't know. I've told you guys before, but like, I think that you smart. Are you gonna figure this out? Like, do you belong in the eternal paradise kingdom, like with me, like forever, for eternity? And if you're like, not gonna figure it out, if you just want to, be materialistic and just like love Satan, then you're out of here. Like, bye bye. You're not gonna get in. That's how I see it. Like he's like a bouncer at a club. I used to say this. My mom thought it was funny too. I'm like, he's like a bouncer. He's like, you want to get in? Like, I'm going to show you things. You're going to figure it out or not. That's how I see it.
Slow make it. That's what you're gonna say. The molasses.
Yeah, I mean,
God's love is abounding, though, man. If you look at it, He's tolerated.
he wants you. He wants you to be in His kingdom. He wants you to. And then some people. And then, like, dude, I was behind a car today. It had witchery stuff, right? It said, watch more horror movies, and it was stickers everywhere, right? And dude, this person couldn't drive properly. I was like, oh, I see. You're under Satan's rule, like like a total like just all satanic shit everywhere on the back of the car, bro. Seriously. I was like, okay, come on, let's go. Figure out how street signs work.
Yep.
Keep watching their horror
results
movies
that we're looking for, but if the technological capabilities of the Doppler integration that Filippo Bionde is using with their synthetic aperture radar scans for the Giza Plateau, if that type of sensor fusion and technological fusion could be applied towards sites like this, then we might be able to gain even higher fidelity imagery and more definitive conclusions on what this site actually is.
Advert. Okay, thank you, Ian.
Oh, of course, you got that. Yeah, brainwashing.
Persistent criticism of research at the Durham Pinar site has been the lack of adherence to standard archaeological protocols. Traditional archaeological investigations usually follow rigorous methodologies, including systematic excavation, proper documentation.
No one wants to follow the rules.
He said adherence to the specific protocols. Like you said, like they should have already known about this at least 10 years ago, bro. At least 10 years ago.
But that's the thing, because they have to they follow the protocols, it's very easy for the system to make it be as delayed as possible.
Yeah, bro. You know why? Because that's what they do. It's just like a car you drive. You have a car, you have a new car. It's like, what's the next car going to be? They want to delay it. They're like, well, we can make a better car, but no, not till like 10 years from now, because they slowly roll things up.
Yeah,
it's like the whole progress. What do you call it? The frog slowly boiling. Same thing.
Because think about it. If they can give top of the line stuff straight away, then they're going to miss out on
all
money.
The revenue. All the revenue. Yep.
They make something a bit worse than the next model, but a bit better than the previous model, and they just keep doing that. So
actually, they do that too. They go back and forth. Yeah, they give you a little less better, and then more better. Exactly. Which is not a real word. Not a real word. But no, seriously though, like the LiDAR thing came out. Like I remember like 15 years ago at least, LiDAR came out. So it's like now we're talking about it.
Exactly.
Facts and peer review before making definitive claims about historical structures. But to date, the Durham Pinar site has never been properly excavated by professional archaeologists following these protocols. This absence of systematic archaeological investigation presents a significant gap in the evidence needed to substantiate claims about the site's origin and purpose, whether that be purely geological or something a little bit more anomalous. The Noah's Ark scan team acknowledges this limitation, stating that their current work focuses on non-destructive testing methods, including soil sampling and radar scans, with excavation only being considered after sufficient evidence has been gathered and preservation strategies have been established. Jones has emphasized that their approach prioritizes careful planning and site preservation. The Noah's Ark scans team has outlined ambitious plans for the future. Investigations at the Durham Pass site will continue. These plans
So they're just going to be doing more scans and
Yeah. So the thing is, though, is that we don't need this kind of stuff to prove that, like, Jesus is real and God is real, and the Bible is real. We don't need any of that. But it's interesting how they're talking about it. That's all I was trying to say. Anyway,
no. Okay.
awesome
But,
talking to you, Flatzoid, man. It was cool.
Well, it's
Awesome.
cool having you.
I know it's getting late, it's getting late for me.
Yeah, I have to go. I've got some stuff to do as well.
Awesome.
So, any news on the baby, sir?
Nothing. It's quite
man.
frustrating. Quite frustrating.
I get it.
But, yeah, you'll know as soon as I know. I'll let you guys know. Don't worry.
We think you're going to probably take a week or so, like away.
Dude,
from
you got
No,
a baby in
probably
the
not.
oven? There's a baby in the oven?
Yeah. My
Yes,
wife's
Oh, nice.
yeah,
Awesome.
I'm like just waiting for her to call, and then when she says, "Okay, it's time," then I have to drive through.
How many do you have so far?
This will be my fourth one.
How many?
This will be my fourth child.
Oh, fourth, right? Yeah.
And
Cool.
He's being fruitful and multiplying, man. That's what he's
Yeah,
doing.
heck yeah.
Serious, man.
He's being fruitful and multiplying and not being a. I'm not gonna say what Owen Benjamin says on your show. Don't be a something.
But yeah, was cool having you guys on. Thank you, everybody in the YouTube lands as well and Rumble. Please hit the likes, share the show. If you haven't subscribed, do subscribe. I'll see you tonight.
All right, brothers.
Yeah.
Later.
Cheers.
Yeah,
Blessings, guys.
Bye, guys.